You're about to listen to TADPOG, Tyler and Dave Play Old Games. It's a comedy video game podcast. We would like to stress that the hosts are not experts and are really just very crass commentators. Seriously, this is an explicit podcast that happens to talk about video games sometimes. So please enjoy this pretty okay podcast with Tyler and Dave.
Wax on, wax off.
Hello, Internet.
Oh!
Yeah.
That's a wrap.
Yep.
Thanks for listening, everybody.
Work's been rough, frog pussy, hell yeah.
Final Fantasy 14, The Dark Tower. All right. Goodbye, everybody.
Welcome to TADPOG, Tyler and Dave and Ian Play Old Games. This week, we're continuing our streak of movies and movie games with the Karate Kid.
The Karate Kid.
The Karate Kid for the Nintendo Entertainment System.
Your
Or as I
parents help
still
you hook
call
it
it, as I still call it, the regular Nintendo.
Mm-hmm.
It's not Super, just regular Nintendo. Before the Karate Kid, both movie and game, what you guys been doing?
It's been a week.
Mm-hmm.
Some worse than others. Some worse than others. But some of us have had worse weeks than others. But it's about par for the course, you know. Originally I had an appointment today to talk to a roofer about roofing our house.
Yeah.
Because after the snow and all the heavy rain we had. I had originally thought there were stains in my ceiling over my kitchen area.
It's not a good sign ever.
But those were there from a previous leak that we had fixed. And after all this rain and stuff we had, Tanya mentioned to me that the stains were getting bigger. This was after, 3 or 4 years after we had it fixed. So
you're dude in a bathtub up in the...
Yeah, maybe. I originally thought, she's imagining things. We've been cooped up in the house for 3 weeks because of the weather.
Cabin fever.
She's got cabin fever. Then it rained for another couple of days, and she pointed out to me that, in fact, with pictures, it's proof this time it is, in fact, leaking. And so...
Shit.
Yeah, I thought about just trying to get it repaired again, but we don't know the people we used to know that were like handyman types that would. I'm pretty handy with most things, but like roof repair and stuff.
Stuff you could fall down and die.
I'm not super great at it. And really, I could probably fix it, but finding the leak is the problem. And my attic is a confusing and dangerous place to be.
But because of the weather, could this be an insurance claim?
I don't think so. I may ask that question of my agent and see what they have to say, but my agent is notorious for just basically telling me no every single time I've ever asked, is this a thing I can write off on my insurance?
So do we want to scrap what we've recorded so far, start over, and then the next time there's heavy winds, then you put the claim in?
Or I could just somehow arrange for a giant stick to fall from one of the trees above my house onto my roof. But so the guy was supposed to come today, or so I thought. When I talked to the person that scheduled the appointment at the roofing company, she had originally said, we'll schedule this for Thursday, February the 2nd. And so I put it on my calendar as a week from now, which was last Thursday. And they had sent me several confirmation emails, and I wasn't really looking at. very carefully. I came in at 2. I took off work. I came in at 2:00, which is when the guy's supposed to be there. 2:30 rolls around. He hasn't showed up. I'm about to call and complain when I look at the email again and realize that it was for Friday, February the 2nd. Today is the 1st. And she gave me the wrong day of the week, but the right day. So now I've got to go
Thursday, February 2nd.
Yeah. So now I got to go through. I went with the Thursday. She said, "Can we come out next Thursday?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And she's like, "February 2nd, is that okay?" Yes. My schedule had Thursday. Hers had the 2nd. And so tomorrow they'll come out. Hopefully it won't be. I know it's going to be stupidly expensive.
Yes.
But
it is a roof.
I know, but try to see if I can finance it and, go through all that crap.
Yeah.
Fortunately, a bunch of stuff that I had been paying on for the last couple of years, I'm paying off next month. And it'll come to probably about what the monthly payment will be for my new roof. So I won't get ahead at all. That's usually the way
that sucks.
things
But at
work
least
out.
it won't be worse.
Hopefully not. I mean, I don't know what the payment's going to be, but if it's more than my house payment, I'm going to be upset.
Yeah.
So anyway, that was my week. Of course, check off your bingo cards. Work was a shit show.
Girl, same.
Yeah, it was bad this week. They've piled a bunch more new tasks onto me and John.
New tasks.
I
bet you
new
got
projects.
big raises though. For
Yeah, we're
additional
getting,
workload, right?
huge amounts of money.
That's how business works.
Yeah, they're paying us way more. So all that really just solves all my
That's
financial
great.
problems.
Don't have to worry about that
more
roof
work
anymore.
equals more pay, right? Right?
Yeah.
Crickets. So anyway, aside from going through all that this week and just dealing with the mundane horse shit of the day to day, I have continued watching Fargo.
Nice.
I'm now in season 4 of Fargo.
How many seasons are there?
5 so far.
You don't have very far to go.
Yeah, and
I was looking for that in my head. I was like, where? There's somewhere. Glad you got it.
Yeah, thanks.
That's good. It took me a sec. I'm a little slow. Anyway, we had
it's not your fault.
No,
it's the
no,
joke's fault.
No, it's mine. I watched it Fargo this past week, and it's one of those that I kind of don't stop watching. So I watch it when I walk on the treadmill. So that's an hour. That's one episode gone every day at least.
That's awesome.
So, but man, it's been a really fun show. I've really enjoyed it. I mean, sort of the list of names of people who have been in this show is, I mean,
Ralph Macchio.
not Ralph Macchio, but Ewan McGregor is in it.
Okay, all right.
As
Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Yes. Mary Elizabeth Winstead, Ramona from Scott Pilgrim is in it. That's just season 3. Just the whole thing is Kirsten Dunst is in season 2.
It's wild.
It's just loaded up with stuff, and there's lots of really good callbacks to the original movie and also other Coen Brothers films, which is nice. It's a really neat little. If you're a fan of any of those movies, those little jokes aren't lost on you. So I've enjoyed it. We also watched the latest Mission Impossible movie, Dead Reckoning, starring Tom Cruise et al. What's her name? Atwell, Captain Carter, the one that plays Captain Carter and is in it with him. And of course, Simon Pegg, Bing Rames, all the old standbys are there. Great movie. It's in 3 parts from what I understand.
That's wild.
It's crazy because this one was 2 hours and something like 40 minutes long.
Good God.
But what was cool about it, I love the Mission Impossible movies. I'm not we did Top Gun last week and everything. And the older I get, the more I dislike Tom Cruise. But I do like his movies, and I do like him in most of the movies he's in. So I'm okay with watching a Tom Cruise movie. I've been a huge fan of the Mission Impossible movies since the 90s. And he's been very dedicated to that franchise, so I appreciate that. They haven't had to replace him. And the movie went by really fast. For me, it was like
good.
Really,
it's almost 3 hours.
It was an excellent film.
Yeah.
And if you give a shit at all about the Mission Impossible films, I highly recommend it. 4 stars. Wizen Sage says check it out.
I like the ones that I've seen. I haven't seen all of them, but the ones that I've seen have been like, I like that. That was entertaining.
The only one that had like sort of problem areas for me was Mission Impossible 2. And I think that was like John Woo that did that film. One. It had a lot of technical and visual glitches in it, like things that normally you wouldn't notice, but they were kind of blatant and it was hard to miss them. Like in one scene, you've got this guy riding a motorcycle and he's on the highway and it's a speed bike, like a crotch rocket, on street tires. Like in the next scene, he's riding through the fucking sand on it, and it's got knobby tires, and it wasn't like Batman tire type. It changed. It was just it was kind of a bad editing thing. They kind of couldn't
like
avoid.
when Batman comes up the stock exchange, it's night.
Yeah, exactly. So it was kind of things like that were just more directorial / technical issues that didn't necessarily take away from the movie. It was
it sounds distracting.
It is distracting, exactly. So, but anyway, Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning, again, 4 stars. Check it out. I loved it. And the last thing I wanted to mention today, from a pop culture standpoint, at least, the poster for the new Beetlejuice movie came out today.
Yeah, I saw that.
The title of the movie is one of my favorite things ever. What? It's Beetlejuice.
Right.
That is the most brilliant.
It implies a third one.
It does also imply a third one. That was the first thing I thought of too.
Yep.
I cannot wait for Beetlejuice because I've been waiting for this for a long time. I know Jenna Ortega is in it. I'm a huge fan of hers. I love Beetlejuice. I love the fact that they're finally doing this, and the marketing for this movie, the promo poster, the one sheet. That's one that I would actually have in my house because it's so well done.
First person Beetlejuice.
Yeah,
with him
he's holding the long ticker tape from like he's in the waiting room at the end of the first one, and the numbers between his thumbs are the release date, right? So it's just
pretty clever. It's
very clever. They really, really put some good thought and marketing into this, and I hope that the movie is done with as much care and thought and love as just the fucking poster was.
Me too.
And the fact that they're calling it Beetlejuice, it's the best. It's the best idea they could have possibly come up with. It doesn't get any better than that. And like you said, Tyler,
Beetlejuicier would have been okay, but
Beetlejuicier, but like you said, Beetlejuice has to be the third. There has to be a third one, just because that was the whole shtick. So
in 20 more years, 30 more years.
Yeah, Michael Keaton will still be around, right? But anyway, that's my pop culture moment, my pop culture corner for the week. I'm sure something else will come to mind when you guys tell us what you've been up to this week, Dave.
It's been a bad week, and I'm not going to get into a whole lot of it because I don't want to bring down the show, the energy of the show. But work's been rough. I can say that. Mark that on your bingo card. You know what I've been doing. I've been playing Final Fantasy 14. I've been listening to the Dark Tower. I'm so fucking close to being done with the Wolves of the Kala. So close that I was like, I might be able to finish this before we record, and then I can say I'm on the song Susanna. I know for the last 8 months I've been on the Wolves of the Kala.
Don't feel bad.
Feels
I am just now at the end of Wizard and Glass.
Man, you're blowing.
I'm
blowing
at the
through
very
them.
end of Wastelands now.
okay.
So
You're
they're-
catching
they're
right
catching
up.
with
too.
Blaine.
I think
so.
he's gonna pass me. You're gonna pass me.
I don't know, man. You're at a good clip. I love
Wizard and Glass will slow you down, bro.
Oh, no,
that's
that's
a
the-
long one.
that is
The
true.
thick boy.
Thick boy.
Yeah.
Well, Dave, we talked briefly this evening before Tyler got here. Tyler will bring you up to speed. But I'm sorry you've had such a shitty week, bro.
Thanks, man.
I hurt for you, man. And
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
that's tough.
It is what it is. Other than Wolves of the Call of Final Fantasy 14, of course, I'm almost through the Endwalker MSQ pre-patch stuff, which means that I'm getting there. I'm getting to current. Getting
Nice.
to current.
I saw you hit the big 90.
Got 90 on Black Mage. Yes.
Impressed with that.
Like hours after we recorded.
Yeah. I was like, damn.
And then
Homeboy went home and got started.
Well, actually, what it was, I did one round of PvP and it hit 90.
Ah,
That's all.
good.
I was that close.
I love that.
So I was like, okay, put Black Mage on the shelf. All right. And then Dancer is at 89, halfway to cap. So about halfway to level 90. And then, so I'm working on Bard now.
Okay.
Bard's at 68.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Don't love it. Bard's another one where it's like, all right, we'll get this to 90 and then probably
Move on.
move on.
Yeah.
Yeah. If I even decide to do that, I might just move back to Monk.
Get your Mott's cap. Yeah.
Yeah. Mott showed up for a brief moment in
Oh, really?
in a Final Fantasy 11 crossover event. Yeah. As a PNG. It's not like you didn't fight him or anything.
Damn.
But yeah, they did Memories of Rhapsody. They did a little crossover event where you could get like an armor set from Final Fantasy 11.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it was pretty neat. That's where the Seeker and the Bone Dragon.
That's why they okay.
Yeah, because I sent you a screenshot.
Yeah,
of it,
and I was
'cause,
like,
man, I
oh,
saw that.
shit.
I hadn't thought of the Seeker in like
Yeah.
a minute. That was like a rank 3 fight from Final Fantasy 11, a mission fight, and that brought me back because I didn't play. I played a lot of Final Fantasy 11.
Colo and the Bats or whatever, but the only thing that would have been
I
more
know.
nostalgic.
Yeah, I know. They specifically like targeted me, and they're like, okay, the Guzgan mines, and there's a bunch of skeletons. So that was cool. They're doing like this Hunt for Genesis like Moogle Tomes event right now, which is like kind of pulling me away from the MSQ, and it's a limited time thing. So it's kind of one of those where it's like, yeah, okay, I'll put some energy into this. It's fun. I mean, I like it. So it's not like it's way more fun than grinding the MSQ. I like the story just fine, but like sitting down and doing like a big chunk of it can be a little fatiguing.
Yeah.
Because it's really watching a lot of cutscenes. And I know.
I used to be like be so pumped when I'd hit a cutscene.
Yeah.
Anything.
Yeah.
And
Then I played Xenosaga.
now I'm
I
like,
got over it.
hurry up. I want to play more.
I want to play. Yeah, I like playing the game.
Is this tutorial still going?
So then that's not the MSQ's fine. The story of Endwalker, I think, has been pretty okay. It's no Shadowbringers. That I honestly feel like I wish they could package Shadowbringers separately and like release it and let people just play it by itself, because I think that was a really cool expansion. But that's kind of it. Sorry for the boring week.
Yeah, it's all right.
I'm glad you're here.
Yes.
Yeah, thanks.
You mentioned you got me thinking about games. I've been playing Overwatch this week a little. I put Hades down for a bit, kind of got burned on it, and I'm kind of playing Overwatch on the reg, trying to see if I can max out the battle pass. Once you get the battle pass finished, you've got like 10 more prestige tiers that you can earn, which are just titles. but I just want to see if I can do it.
Right,
I don't,
yeah, of course.
I don't think I can.
Well,
Like,
I mean, but it's fun to try.
I don't know though, because like the new season is supposed to not start until like February 9th. So I've got another probably week and a half to grind at it and see. But what got me, what I wanted to mention, and I mentioned this in the Discord, so Blizzard was acquired by Microsoft recently, officially. And I was excited. I thought, this is going to be awesome. They're going to fix all the broken monetization of their games. They're going to go back and try to bring it back around a little bit. That was naive of me to think so. And if I'm wrong, I will say so. But I was really pumped because season 9 is coming. They're supposed to be in Overwatch, and they're supposed to be restructuring Overwatch 2. And they're supposed to be restructuring like competitive and fixing some of the matchmaking problems they've been having and, all this stuff. And then I found out that they fired a whole shitload of people.
Yeah.
And a lot of those were in Blizzard, and a lot of those were the team that was sort of responsible for the Overwatch Esports League, which has been disbanded. They shut all that down, which, to be fair, it was hemorrhaging money. And so that's why they got rid of it. It wasn't getting enough attention. It wasn't generating any revenue. But anyway, I found out that the new CEO of Activision Blizzard is the woman who, up until recently, was the CEO in charge of Call of Duty.
Ooh.
And so she is probably going to do to Overwatch what she did to Call of Duty, which is, again, make it a big cash grab, even bigger cash grab. And I'm worried about it, and I'm going to say now all of these negative things, because usually when I say big positive optimistic things, it goes in the other direction. So I'm saying
Say some shitty stuff
big
about
negative
Beetlejuice real quick.
shitty stuff.
Beetlejuice, because I need that to be good.
It's gonna suck. I mean,
Right.
Look, everything was in the poster. Their whole budget they blew on the marketing for the one poster. The rest of the movie is gonna be garbage.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
No, most of the time when I say stuff about Overwatch and about other things like that, I want to be optimistic, and I want to be, and say I see big things, but I'm also super naive, because Blizzard will say big changes, big improvements on the horizon, and I'm stupid enough to believe it, because it's historically never gotten better with Blizzard. It almost always gets worse. And then it never gets better. Like, they'll say, it has to get worse before it gets better. Well, we're in worse.
I think it's over. That's my attitude.
Yeah.
I mean, like, not to be like a fatalist about it or anything, but I mean, I was excited with the Microsoft, with the acquisition.
Yeah.
Because for one reason, and that was because, I have Game Pass. So I'm going to.
Same.
So Blizzard games. All right.
And I was thinking the same thing.
But now I'm also kind of like, but I don't really like a lot of Blizzard games anymore.
So I love Overwatch, and I always will. And what I'm hoping is that there are some like incentives for Game Pass, like skins and things that are exclusive to the Microsoft community,
Right.
and then punish the PlayStation people. Not that I have anything against them, but why not? But no, I just think that as an Xbox consumer, as a Microsoft, I've chosen sides, and Xbox is. I was glad to see that for the same reason, hoping to see in-game benefits, improvement in gameplay. I know that Microsoft tends to be somewhat hands-off with regards to the stuff they acquire. They're like, here's your numbers, here's your goals, run the place the way you see fit. Try to make it a good experience for the end user. I do, believe it or not, I do believe that is Microsoft's philosophy when it comes to shit like this. The problem is when they appoint someone like her to be the head of the company, and knowing what a shit show Call of Duty had become.
And I haven't played Call of Duty in like a fucking hot minute, so I have no idea what's going on in Call of Duty.
I don't know that it's gotten better, but I just think it got worse. I think the monetization thing has taken too much precedence, and Blizzard has gotten plenty of my money over the years
Girl, same.
for Overwatch, especially because
Heroes of the Storm.
I like to buy skins. I like to buy stuff like that. It's cool. I like the art. I don't mind. I feel like I'm supporting the game in this way,
Right.
but it's gotten crazy expensive to the point where even someone like me who used to have no compunction about spending $10 or $20 here and there, because it's getting to the point where even $20 isn't enough to buy something
Really?
that's sort of premium because they've just got this insane value on it, which now even someone like me who would have not blinked an eye at it 5 years ago, I'm now, I can't do that. That's irresponsible. And I miss out on things that I kind of want or that I would have purchased for half the price if you didn't just inflate it so much, and the one thing they could do that would solve my problem is bring back loot boxes. They used to have loot boxes.
They don't have them anymore at all.
No.
Okay.
No, because in one or two countries they were banned because it's considered a form of gambling. And so they just took them away for everyone. And I thought that sucked because loot boxes were fun.
Gambling's fun.
Gambling is fun. And that's the only kind of like gambling that I ever really got sort of really into was buying loot boxes. I had no problem with it because, boy, I'd be chasing that yellow coin would flip out of there. It'd be a legendary skin, and I'd chase that dragon through, however much more money.
How fucked up is this? There's the gold saucer in Final Fantasy XIV, which is essentially the gold saucer from 7, which is like a giant casino.
Okay.
And
/ haunted house / roller coaster.
Right. And I get / Coliseum. And sometimes I get frustrated because I'm like, this is not a casino. It's just a place where you go and win. There's not like, I never feel like there are stakes in the game. Right. It's like player run casinos, like they exist in 14, but I haven't been to one. But in Final Fantasy 11, it was lousy with like Tells and Juno, where it's like 50-50 casino and then they like list like their coordinates, and then you'd go and like give a guy money, and then you'd roll some dice, and then it was all like shady and shit.
Yeah.
And I remember definitely getting scammed at least once doing that. But I wish, I don't know. My whole point of that is I wish I could get a fucking thrill in the gold saucer where it's just like they probably don't do this because everybody would be like, maybe like all or nothing.
Right.
And then, destroy the economy.
Well, and I don't know. I worry that Overwatch 2 is going to continue to be rife with problems, and I truly do not want this game to go away.
Yeah.
Because I love it, but I want it to improve, and I want it to continue to be relevant. And having heard some of the news over the last couple of weeks about things that I was initially optimistic on being less than great, in my opinion, I hope I'm wrong, but we'll see. I think there's still a lot on Overwatch. It's still a fairly popular game. I mean, there's always someone to play with, and maybe the quality of the community isn't what it once was, but it's okay. And I just hope they can keep it running and maybe breathe some life back into it. Or I'm going to be the guy that's the last one to log off of Overwatch and be sad about it forever.
The being sad about it part sucks, but otherwise, I mean, as long as you're enjoying the game,
what I can tell you is that like one of the streamers I follow on Twitch, his name is Emong.
Yeah.
He plays Overwatch for 8 hours a day, every day. And he has always got consistently 2,000 minimum watching him. So that tells me at least that there's some still interest in that game.
Yeah.
You know, he's a good streamer. He's a good personality, but that's the only game he plays, and he's really good at it. And so I'm just hoping stuff like that continues, and that maybe I'm wrong and Blizzard will listen and get their shit together so they don't lose something that's still got a lot of potential. It's almost 8 years since that game came out. And, you know, I think it's worth preserving. I think it's worth putting the effort into to make it a pleasant experience for the gamers that like it, and quit just trying to milk it for money.
They've made some weird decisions.
They really
They've
have.
made some weird decisions.
Some are better than others. But anyway, sorry, I didn't mean to go off on that tangent. You got me thinking about it when you mentioned Final Fantasy, and I had meant to bring it up. Tyler, what have you been up to, brother?
I went and filed my taxes.
Shit, I still have to do that.
I need to get ahead of some stuff. Turns out I'm definitely not getting ahead of anything. I didn't know, but about halfway through the year, state taxes just stopped being taken out of my check.
Why?
They just stopped. I don't know. I got to figure that out.
That's a fucking problem.
Shit.
So when I got it, I was like,
So
all right, what am I getting back? Yo, $1,700.
That's a lot.
Wonderful. Wonderful.
Especially when you were expecting
A refund.
a big refund,
Yeah,
right?
my
You were going to get
taxes-
tax credits for the kids and
Yep.
stuff, right?
Yep. Now we owe a fuck ton because all my taxes from about half of the year, so I owed way more. No state was taken out. Like my taxes got fucked. So that wasn't fun.
No.
God.
My washer got delayed until March.
Oh my
March.
God.
Dude,
So it was December, then it was January, and then later in the January, then they were like, fuck February, March.
Jesus Christ. Can you
can you get your money back and just drive to Carbondale?
Well,
and
I was
get
gonna
one?
run nowhere in the area. We went and Lowe's, like they checked every store within like 100-mile radius.
That's fucked
They don't.
up.
They don't.
That is fucked
all
up,
their
man.
stock is carried by a third-party provider. Lowe's doesn't carry any stock.
What about
for, like,
somebody else? I mean, like, is it
Well,
just
I wasn't gonna
Lowe's?
return the dryer. Like, I'll return the dryer and I'll just buy another set.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
different. No, I only had 48 hours to return the dryer.
Man,
They
that
gave
is-
3 months to give me the washer, but no, you only had 48 hours to return this dryer.
America is fucking doomed.
Christ.
We are fucking doomed.
We're not going to make it.
We're not
probably.
going to make it.
Humans, I mean.
No, at least not the ones that live on this continent.
So yeah, and you
God.
can't. They refuse to sell any floor models of any appliances. So
Right, because then they'd
Lowe's-
have to guarantee them to not break on the first day, and they don't.
Right.
They know they won't.
So yeah,
And they'd have to
they're
tell people,
all-
imagine there's a washer here. We can't get any. So,
we don't carry
the
any.
store and
we
we
don't know
can't
where they
get
come
any.
from. It's another company. We don't know.
We don't know where they come from.
we buy them
yeah.
from a bigger Lowe's.
Secret Lowe's. Secret Lowe's.
Secret Lowe's.
Buy 'em- no, they-
Order a washer off the secret menu at Lowe's. Let me get a McWash gangbang.
Because then I was like, well, I guess I could go to Home Depot. Well, no, my dad's got that contractor card, so I actually get a good discount if I get it from Lowe's. But Lowe's, unless you can see it and put your hands on it and take it home with you, they don't sell it.
That's ridiculous.
So yeah,
They buy them from
don't,
Amazon. I
don't even
bet.
know what to do about that.
Yeah, that sucks a lot.
Don't you
almost
wish
done
your
with the
dad collected
wastelands.
washing machines the way he collects cars?
Yeah.
That would be hilarious, too. If there was washing machine culture like there is car culture.
Let me.
If I had just gotten the washer, I could have made do with the other dryer. But instead, get 2 dryers.
Can you buy like a cheap, shitty washer?
I might have to.
I know a guy. I know a guy. I might be able to hook you up with something that will get you by.
Yeah, that'd be
Right.
great.
Let me get. I keep forgetting about this.
Just
problem.
take it to my mom, or then like the laundromat sucks.
Right.
Yeah,
You
fuck
can't
that
keep doing
laundromat
that. You've been doing that
shit.
for too long. That's
Hey, plus, it costs a lot more money.
right. And it's a
I can
fucking
see where it's a
hassle.
trap. It's a fucking trap for people. So yeah.
Let me call my guy and see
Okay.
if I can get you at least something
Yeah.
to get you by
Thank you.
until your perma washer comes in.
Maybe Lowe's owns a chain of laundromats. And this is kind of their game, where it's like we control who does laundry.
Oh, now,
Tony Soprano in the back of Lowe's.
well,
Smoking cigars and counting money.
They're so powerful that they've probably like bleeped out this entire segment
Yeah, for sure.
of our podcast.
Yeah.
That they
It's just a Lowe's
they have
commercial.
control. They have
For 20
control of
minutes.
everything.
AI modulator voice. Man, I love the service at Lowe's.
Lowe's is so great. I buy all of my washing machines at Lowe's.
Eventually,
Although, see, it still freaks me out on
that off your
YouTube where
bingo
somebody
card.
used AI to replicate an episode of SNES Drunk. Still freaks me the fuck out over a game he's never played.
God,
So,
It's weird, man.
Lowe's no censorship, y'all. Go get us.
I'm trying to think what else. I'm almost, they just, Eddie and Susanna have reached Blaine in the Wastelands.
I like all the Blaine stuff.
I'd forgotten 90% of that book.
Really?
Completely forgotten it. Like, I remember the name Gasher. I remember nothing
Oh
about the
my
TikTok
God,
man.
motherfucker.
Remember nothing about any of this shit. So it's just like, man, it's almost like listening to the first time all over.
Yeah, I'm
again.
having that
There's so much
experience
shit.
too.
So much shit.
Especially with Wizard and Glass. There was a lot of stuff I missed that I forgot about in that
You
book.
saying that just made me think of like last night when I got in bed and Nikki was playing Picross and I was like, is it gonna bother you if I listen to some
No, I pick Ross.
Gunslinger? No, me. We fight over whether they want to break or not before we go to bed. And then she's like, no problem. I play it. I fall asleep like 3 minutes in. Wake up 4 hours later. Shit is spoiled. Oh, no. There's the time I wake up, I'm like, who died? What?
Oh, damn. Damn.
See, that's why I do not listen to that book in bed because I'm afraid I'm going to fall asleep and have to go back and catch up.
It's
that's
it's
brutal.
a bit of an exaggeration because it's like the writing's on the wall. This person's gonna die, kind of
Right,
deal.
right.
So it's like it's a lot like Wizard and Glass, where it's like I know this is gonna happen. I just don't know how it's gonna
Yeah.
happen.
Yeah.
So
My mental picture of Oi is also like so different than the official art that I see.
Homie, like I got to a part in Wolves where they talk about Jake putting Oi in a pouch on a pony, and I was like, "Holy shit!" I thought Oi was like tiger sized.
Oh no, I always thought he was about the size of a raccoon.
But now, yeah, it's like, well, clearly he's. So it's like I gotta like retcon in my mind like all this
That's
shit.
funny. That's awesome. I love it.
He's basically the Zigzagoon Pokemon. Like,
I don't know
Have you
that
ever
one.
seen I forget what the variant that's black and white or whatever. That is what, because whenever I pulled up, like, I wonder if my head canon. Nope, so wrong, so wrong. He looks like this one Pokemon that came out way after the book, so it makes you think they based the Pokemon on him.
It's
but-
interesting you talk about like paintings of like characters because I've been so close to looking up like what does Andy look like?
Yeah.
Because like there have been so many like the descriptions for Andy kind of came like I feel like drip 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 until I got to the point where it's like he has blue bulging eyes. Did I? And so like my like imagine like the picture in my mind is like constantly reconfiguring.
Yeah.
Like what does Andy look like?
Andy to me always looked like that one bot from from Venture Brothers that had like the red light on his head or whatever, and went
Oh yeah, helper bot.
yeah,
right? yeah.
yeah. That's how I always saw it.
He's in my head as like a Futurama bot, like one of like the mafioso bots, but not specifically Clamps or the other one.
Clemento Roberto is the stabber. Yeah.
That's right.
What else? I haven't really played. So we're on the 4th season of Barry. Seasons 1 and 2 of Barry were really, really good. 3 is where I felt like it started to go downhill because we're watching season 3 and just like, man, I hate it when I get to shows where everyone's just an asshole. No one is redeemable or has any good qualities. They're all just, and not like It's Always Sunny. They're all assholes. Like,
Right.
it's not funny. They're
Right.
just mean assholes. Like, that's what season 3 became, and now season 4, it's like surrealist nihilism, and it's like, and every time it's like, did I fall asleep for a second? Why are they here? Okay, that's a dream. Okay, no, he's imagining that. Okay, no, he's not actually there. Did I fall asleep again? And why is he now?
It's
It's
Bill Hader,
weird.
right?
Yeah.
It's Bill
Yeah,
Hader.
because I've seen some interviews with him about the 4th season, like before it was coming out, kind of deal, and he was like, "Yeah, some people are really gonna hate it."
He's right.
It's like the last, like Louis, the later seasons of Louis, where like, remember Jen Kirkman?
It jumped the shark.
Yeah.
The show jumped the shark
Absolutely.
in season 3, and
Because even the end of season 2, the way it ends with him, and I like the metaphor where he walks back into the darkness at the end of season 2.
Sure.
Cool, wonderful. But then season 3 is just like, oh, okay, all right.
Yeah.
This was like a good dark comedy. Now it's just
dark.
dark.
Yeah, and that's what I was afraid.
But like not like intriguing dark, like Breaking Bad. It's like dark for the sake of being dark.
Yep.
It's
Too much.
the Anthony Jeselnik of just dark.
Yeah, that's what I was.
Which I love Anthony
kind of-
Jeselnik, but Anthony Jeselnik is offensive for the sake of being offensive.
Right.
So kind of afraid of, you heard it here first. That was one of those things that I was like, you're gonna like it to a point, and I had a feeling you would hit that same wall I hit with it, and I'm glad it's over. I'm glad it's over and doesn't have the chance to get.
I mean, I think we're gonna finish it.
Yeah,
but
you should finish it because it's worth finishing, especially up to this. You might as well. You're closer to the end than you are to the beginning.
Yeah.
But it's a good thing they ended it and just said we're done, because I don't know what else they could have done.
Yeah, but I also just love Stephen Root. Stephen Root is
Yeah.
a top 3 actor for me.
Yeah,
Bryan
me
Cranston,
too.
Stephen Root, J.K. Simmons,
Yeah.
favorite actors, hands down.
Have you ever seen Whiplash?
I've seen bits and pieces, and it makes me so uncomfortable I don't want to
It's
watch
tough.
it.
It's a tough watch. It's J.K. at his most uncomfortable.
Ooh.
Have you
It's
ever
hard.
brought him photos of Spider-Man?
Yeah, and he always yells at me when I do. It's
weird,
sucks.
right?
Because what somebody had posted on Facebook, like, I love you in every universe, and it's all the characters that J.K. Simmons plays. And somebody commented, I noticed you left out his character from Oz. It's like, oh, yeah. Not, it's like all the pictures, you, not you. Which, I mean, testimony to how good of an actor he is.
Yeah,
like, that is
yeah.
the most evil character I've ever seen in television history.
The character he plays in Whiplash is pretty close.
Yeah, that's why I can't.
It's rough. It's a great fucking movie, but I won't watch it again.
Yeah,
It's
'cause
just hard to watch.
I mean, because I like dark stuff. I mean, Piggy Palace. Like, I like,
Yeah.
I like Dark Tower. But like Oz, I really loved Oz. It is a great show, but like, yeah, 2 episodes max before you're taking sanity damage. Your soul has been wounded.
That's rough.
You gotta
That's-
take a second, let it heal
That's
back
how I
up.
was with Breaking Bad, man. I could not. I snoped the fuck out of Breaking Bad because it got to a point where it was like, nah. I can see, like, I can appreciate that this is good and that this is like well crafted and like well acted and well shot, but I don't want to be fucking
Miserable.
miserable.
And it does do that. And I will rewatch Breaking Bad over and over. For some reason, it's that kind of misery that I like.
Yeah.
That's Melissa's dessert TV. Like, oh, I'm
Yeah.
feeling kind of bad. I'll watch Breaking Bad or ER. I can
Yeah.
put either one and she'll feel, or Hoarders. One of those 3 and she'll feel better.
Yeah. I can't. I mean,
I mean, maybe on some subconscious level, I'm like, well, at least I'm not that guy.
I think that's how, like,
You
no matter
know?
how bad our house gets when we're busy, puts on Hoarders.
orders.
I'm not shitting in buckets around the house. We're good.
No liquid
What?
cats.
No liquid
Is
cats.
that just me? Am I the only bucket house?
There was an interview
were all
with Jen Kirkman before all the stuff with Louis C.K. came out, and
Did you do something?
Allegedly.
She talks
to me.
about like she didn't want him by name, but she had a weird encounter with another comedian, and she said, he just thinks he's a weird French filmmaker of TV shows now. And that, again, just circle back to Barry, like I feel like that is like, it's as dark as Breaking Bad, but it's not as well crafted, so I can't watch that much of it because the character patterns, it's just like they just keep following the same pattern, and it's not a commentary on itself like BoJack Horseman is in that regard.
Right.
So
I love
just,
BoJack Horseman. It's
fuck
dark.
yeah.
It's dark, but it's
I've
so
never watched that.
Oh God,
It's really smart.
Yeah.
It's
I've
really
heard
smart. And that's
it
not to say
was.
Breaking Bad isn't smart, but BoJack Horseman,
it undercuts the darkness because he's a fucking horse.
right?
So
and
it
it's-
doesn't.
Yeah, right. And it's also funny. Like
Yeah.
it's also like Breaking Bad has funny moments, and I'm sure it has. I haven't seen. I mean, I haven't seen enough to really comment, but from what I saw, there were funny moments in it.
Mm-hmm.
But BoJack Horseman, at its heart, is a comedy.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's a dark comedy.
It's a dark
got
comedy.
equal balance.
Right,
Like,
right, right.
yeah.
And Barry started out that way.
Yeah, first two
And
seasons are great.
They're
Perfectly,
amazing.
like all things, balance. Like it's-
I'm afraid The Boys is going to kind of get
Ooh, I
I'm
could see it going that way.
I'm
I've only seen
worried
2 episodes, but I can see
the
it going
first
that.
2 seasons of that show are fucking phenomenal. Season 3 is good. It's not bad, but I'm just worried that it's going to lose its way. And I hope, given how smart and poignant and observant the show is, I'm very hopeful that they don't lose their way like so many other shows have in the past, because I need them to keep their eye on the prize, which is get to the point, tell a good story, and then walk the fuck away.
Yeah,
And that's what
so tough.
that's what Breaking Bad did. Right. It got to the point, it told an amazing story, and it got the fuck out. And then everyone, then they spun it off with Better Call Saul, which at first I was like, here they go. Fucking pulling a Walking Dead. Now we're going to have a fucking show about every character in Breaking Bad. Better Call Saul was better than Breaking Bad.
I
That's what I've
agree.
heard
I
from
agree.
and
several people.
And because
Walker got fucked every single year.
oh God,
Nominated every year,
absolutely.
lost every year.
Absolutely,
It's fucking dumb.
It was dumb because he straight fucking nailed
Yep.
every moment that he was on screen in that show. He fucking brought the thunder. It was unbelievable how good that show was, especially considering it was a spinoff, and especially considering that this show was a different type of show done in the same style. And this character you want to root for. They start you off in Breaking Bad rooting for Walter White. By the time the show ends, you realize what a complete and utter piece of shit he
Just
really
let Jesse
is.
get away, man. Just let him go.
He's a complete piece of shit.
Yeah.
But you're okay with that because it is what it is. That's one thing you can watch and say it is what it is, because you start to learn very quickly in Breaking Bad that you're not supposed to root for Walter White.
Right.
You're supposed to you kind of want him to fail because of the shit that keeps getting worse, and then he'll come back up in your point scale, and then he'll do something else that makes him plummet back down here. Saul Goodman is the guy that you root for from soup to nuts. You want to see him succeed. You want to see him overcome these obstacles, and it does the exact same thing that Breaking Bad does. It tells a good story, it gets to the fucking point, and then it fucking leaves. And it didn't overdo it, it didn't milk it,
It's a perfect character evolution from
really
Jimmy
is
McGill to
Saul Goodman.
the beginning of Breaking Bad. Saul Goodman.
Absolutely it is. And so yeah, I get it. I understand why you feel the way you feel about Barry, because I felt the same way. They dropped the ball, and it's a shame.
Yeah.
Because like you said, the first 2 seasons of that show, fucking epic.
Yeah.
The rest was just, it was okay. It wasn't bad. It was okay.
Because I remember reading that sort of that they hated to do it, but it had to be done for like The Force Awakens. Like they had to restart Han Solo's shitty asshole into redemption then death arc. Like it should have been continued in from the last time, but because they picked it up, they had to do it all over again.
Right.
So, but Barry is just like, instead of that arc concluding somewhere, they just restart the arc every season. It's old. It's just, I think it's shitty. I think it's, I respect Alec Berg and Bill Hader, but I feel like it's shitty writing.
Yep.
Did you know all the characters in that show went to the same orphanage?
I just don't remember this at the end.
So
We're about an hour in. Do we want to jump into the movie talk and the game talk? Do we want to do a draft? Do we want to?
Down for whatever.
same. We don't even have to stop unless you just need to.
I said let's roll on.
Might as well. We can do whatever you want at this point because I don't think there's going to be a whole lot to cover game wise, given what I learned from it.
I'm always surprised. I feel like generally that is the attitude, and then we go.
Then we go an
we
hour
jam for an hour. Yeah.
Do we want to do a martial artist draft?
Sure.
Yeah, of course. I know all of them.
Or, I mean,
No, this is great.
and I say martial artists, be like, I guess ninjas count.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So that kind of opens it up.
Okay.
Or it could just be a ninja draft.
Oh, okay.
Dave, you want paper?
I got this. I'm good. I'm good. Thank you.
Could we do martial artist cocky assholes?
Ooh.
Aren't they all?
The drafts are popular, by the way. They get a lot of feedback. We get feedback on the Discord more about the drafts we do than anything else.
Yeah, if you're not familiar with our Discord and then you go into the podcast discussion channel and you're like, why is this isn't a conversation, it's just lists of things.
Yeah.
That's because that's what's talked about in that channel.
Yeah.
Is these drafts.
And we can't tell you the address to get to our Discord channel because that has been classified by the Lowe's Corporation.
That's right.
No, fuck that. Lowe's. Fuck you, Lowe's. bit.ly/TADPOG Discord or pisstasters.com.
Taste the piss.
All right, Dave, you pick a number. 1 through 4. 1, Ian.
Just one number?
Just one number.
3.
3. So then I will pick 4. 2.
Roll again.
2.
Roll again.
1. If it's a 2 again, we have to end the show.
Damn. A martial artist, eh?
Fictional?
Yeah, what are our
Can we do
limitations?
fictional or they have to be real?
Any martial artist.
Any martial
fictional
artist.
or real.
Okay.
I will go with Tifa Lockhart
Nice.
from
Monk.
Final Fantasy VII.
There we go.
Yeah.
Ian.
Mr. Miyagi. He's my
Miyagi's a
guy.
Good one.
He was one of my favorite people when I was growing up. Karate Kid.
It's a good pick.
It was a big deal for me. Yeah.
Goku.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a really good pick.
Dave, number 2.
Johnny Cage.
Yeah.
I'll never forget when he did the splits and punched Goro in the balls in the movie.
Wonderful moment.
Yeah, I'll never forget
You
it.
have to have it. You have
Lives-
to have it.
At my funeral, I hope someone plays that clip, just out of context. I'm going to go ahead and start planning my funeral, and what it is just clips, no context.
How did
back
Dave
to back
die?
to back.
Play.
Did you know Dave played Goro in Mortal Kombat? Just one of his arms.
Ian, number 2.
Jason Statham.
Statham.
Love his
Big
work.
fan of the movies,
I
his action
am.
movies.
I am. I like the Transporter movies. They're ridiculous. They're the literal definition of suspension of disbelief, especially by the time you get to number 3.
Yeah.
I love the Meg and the Meg 2, the Big Shark movie.
Never seen those
Not the movie about.
for obvious reasons.
They're good. They're nothing like that. And
We're not allowed to talk about the times that Tyler has seen the Meg. Otherwise, we risk a court appearance.
the motion picture, The Meg, starring Jason Statham.
My number 2 will be The Bride
The Bride?
Good one.
I don't know what that is.
from Kill Bill.
Oh, okay, yeah.
David, number 3.
I'll go with Bruce Lee. I'll go with a real person.
Bruce Lee's good.
Yeah. Wait, is this the cocky asshole draft?
You're 2 for 3 on that one.
But yeah, I mean, amazing martial artist for sure.
Ian.
Speaking of cocky asshole martial artists, Jean-Claude Van Damme. Always liked his style. Liked his early movies like Time Cop. Love Time Cop.
I haven't seen Time
Kickboxer.
Cop in a long time.
Bloodsport is always my
I've never seen
absolute favorite.
Bloodsport's
Oh,
good.
I've seen some clips that
Yeah.
are good. They'll be at the funeral. Don't worry.
That's apparently that's how Trump watches it. He loves Bloodsport, but he fast forwards through as he watches it. He only watches the fights. He hates all the dialogue and fast forward.
I mean,
and we'll do that repeatedly.
I haven't seen it, but I kind of imagine like once you watch Bloodsport once all the way through, like, isn't that probably the best way to watch it? I don't know. I
Yeah,
mean,
you don't need all the running from the cop scenes.
Because I'll tell you this: if I were to rewatch Cliffhanger, I would just fast forward to the part where Stallone impales the guy on the stalactite.
So then that begs the question for my number 3. So martial artists. So boxing, is boxing a martial art?
Sure,
Why not?
I don't know.
So
you're asking the experts.
I would think that it is. I mean, I would think kickboxing is and things like that. So I'm gonna say boxing is. I'm gonna say Rocky Balboa.
Rocky Balboa.
Dave, number 4.
I'll go with Eddie Gordo.
Capoeira. Fuck.
From Tekken, the Tekken series.
Yakin.
Tekken. Could have gone with Mokujin.
Yoshimitsu. Ian, number 4.
Lee Van Cleef as
That's what I was
the
waiting
master. I probably used that song before as a transition. The theme song
yeah, I think you
to
have.
TV's The Master. Look it up. 5 stars. Wasn't say just check it out.
Lee Van Cleef, man.
Angel Eyes, baby.
Yeah.
Number 4, Shredder. The Shredder. Dave, number 5.
Shit, it's back to me again already.
Again already.
Hong Kong Phooey, of course.
Nice. Good pick.
Number 1 super guy.
He is.
Ian.
Storm Shadow from G.I. Joe.
G.I. Joe.
Some might say, why not Snake Eyes?
Snake Eye.
I like Storm Shadow better.
My number 5 spent a lot of time in the dojo, refining his skills. Master of the nunchucks. Dwight Schrute.
Oh!
Nice. Good one.
Number 6, Master Onion.
Shit. All right, let's go to 10.
That's where I thought you were going with that.
We want to go further?
Sure, I got another one.
I don't know if I've got any more. I'd have to think pretty hard and create uncomfortable silences.
We're all friends here. It's comfortable silences.
Would John Wick be considered a martial
Fuck yeah,
artist?
Absolutely.
John Wick.
Another martial artist. 'Cause I'm racking my brain. Sabin Figaro.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Suplex that train. Dave, number 7.
Rex Kwando.
Rex Kwando.
Dietrich Bader from Napoleon Dynamite.
Oh, okay.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
Yeah, that's why I wanted to keep going. I'm out. I'm done now. I don't.
No, you got to come up with 3 more.
All right. Okay.
Ian, number 7.
My old friend Acid Randy.
Nice. Thanks. You just gave me my next one.
Tongue Din. Master Din from Murray State.
I thought about him. I'm going to go with Chili Dog.
Nice.
You know what? They're pretty close. They're pretty close. I think
That's what got me there.
accidentally invented Acid Randy, and he's real. Chili Dog exists, and I know him. Well, I used to know him. I don't know where he is now, but
Chili Dog from Tyler's Call of Cthulhu games. Everybody famously knows Chili Dog.
Yeah. No, everybody who listens to this is going to get that. Ian, number 8.
what was the ninja guy that John Belushi played on Saturday Night Live? The sushi chef,
Samurai Delicatessen.
Samurai from Samurai Delicatessen.
My 8th one will be Ryu from Street Fighter.
Yeah, that's good.
Dave, number 9.
I'll go Yang.
Oh, from
Final-
4.
4. Yeah, Final Fantasy 4.
Yang's a good one. Ian, number 9.
Which one of the Ninja Turtles used the bow staff?
Donatello.
Donatello.
Corey Feldman, a.k.a. Corey Feldman.
Okay, Donatello.
If this draft were a Corey Feldman, which Corey Feldman would it be?
It had to be Donatello, right? Yeah,
It would have to be.
it had to be. Number 9, Samurai Jack.
Nice.
Dave, number 10.
I will go with.
He actually mimicked the trumpet or the trombone thing when he did that. For those of you that can't see, that would be everybody but me and Tyler.
Deal with it. Deal with it, audio only listeners. I will go. I totally know. It's fine. I totally know.
Just creating tension and creating
of
suspense.
course. I'll go with. I totally know. It's fine. I'll go Chuck Norris, the internet celebrity Chuck Norris.
Internet celebrity.
From 10.
Chuck
10
Norris
years ago.
from Dodgeball.
Oh, that guy from the end of
Fucking Chuck
Sidekicks?
Norris.
You mean the guy who told me I have AIDS? Chuck
Ian,
Norris.
number 10.
My final pick didn't occur to me until 10th place, but it should probably be higher up the list, although it cannot be because of the laws of draft physics. Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Yeah, that works. They do refine their martial skills.
I mean, you ever seen that fight between him and Darth Maul?
Yeah.
That's martial arts, baby.
He even had the low ground and still won.
Yeah, exactly.
So building on that argument, honing a physical edge for performance and results, my number 10 will be Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Okay. I accept all these answers.
And that's why it's martial artist is so much more broad than just like ninja martial artist.
Beverly Hills Ninja.
There's honorable mention.
3 ninjas. Kick
All
back.
3 of them. Rocky Tum
Kung
Tum
Fu
and
Panda. Kung Fu Panda.
Yeah, Kung Fu Panda.
Oh.
Yes. Any fighting game character.
Wolverine,
Yeah. Wolverine.
I'd say that tracks.
Deadpool.
Yeah.
Kimiko from The Boys.
And that's all of them.
That's it.
That's it.
We got 'em all.
Got 'em
Saitama.
all. Iron Fist, Luke Cage. I'm trying to think of any. Isn't there a Marvel character called the Karate Kid?
I don't know.
Maybe there
I
it
don't
is.
know, but that's a hell of a segue into our next
There you
segment.
go. Yeah.
Do you want to take a break or do you want to just keep rolling?
Take a quote unquote break.
Okay.
knows you never come in for just one thing.
So we've got to know a lot of things about a lot of things.
Like what makes your lawn thrive, paint that adds color in one coat, and the dishwasher that handles all the dirty work. You got this, and we got you.
Man, that break went a lot longer than I thought it would.
Yeah.
Sorry for that.
You're
guys.
right.
I'm glad I was finally able to watch The Karate Kid on that break.
All 4 Karate Kid movies.
Yeah, because
There were 4 of those,
the
and not including the
4 Ralph Macchio ones.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
really?
Well, 4 based in the Ralph Macchio universe.
so is the most recent one that came out, which I assume was most recent, is I looked it up today because I was like, man,
It sucks.
what was that movie that came out not too long ago? And then I was like, 2010.
Yeah.
Like Jaden Smith
Yeah.
and Jackie Chan.
Yeah,
the-
that's fucked up, man. Because that fucking 14 years went like that. Apparently, 'Cause-
Jackie Chan was the only good thing about that movie.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't like it.
I didn't see it.
It sucks. I mean, it's because, the whole thing, Will Smith wanted to do got him the rights to do the movie so his kid could be in the Karate Kid.
Right.
Whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know. But Jackie Chan was in it. He was good, but he was no Mr. Miyagi. Also, Jackie Chan.
Oh, martial
Yeah.
artist.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, look at that. There we go.
Cannot believe I forgot
Steven
about
Seagal.
Mr. Jackie Chan.
Didn't forget him, maybe. I'm sorry, we're doing SNL host.
I mean, have you ever asked him? Yeah, God, that's a good one.
Need to delete stuff. Hang on. Sorry.
We'll do an anti-draft
Nance.
martial artist. Number 1, Steven
Anti-draft.
Seagal.
But yeah, there were 4. There was Karate Kid Part 2, Karate Kid 3, and the next Karate Kid.
Oh, right.
But it was I don't think Ralph Macchio was in that one. It was a woman, a girl was in it.
Hillary Swank.
Hilary Swank. Thank you. Yes.
Is she hot?
Thank you. I almost made the Office reference.
But those are the 4 Mr. Miyagi Karate Kid movies. Original Pat Morita, may he rest in peace. Karate Kid movies. I only really remember the first 2.
Is Happy Days Karate Kid canon?
Possibly. I mean, what would he have done? Would he have?
Well, time travel, obviously.
In the 1950s, he really wasn't.
It's Chi Mastery.
After World War II,
Right.
he comes to America and opens up a diner,
Arnold's,
and then something,
He's a spy. He has to be a spy.
yeah, question mark, profit.
Karate Kid.
Then Karate
Cut
Kid.
to Karate Kid.
And he just keeps that whole thing about his past to himself.
Yes.
But we know
Right.
Arnold,
I want
if that really is your name, Mr. Miyagi.
I want a fan edit of Karate Kid where they don't do any. The only thing they change is the scene in Karate Kid where Mr. Miyagi gets drunk and and Daniel's going through his belongings, and instead of like all the stuff about the dead wife and kid, it's all like Happy Days shit.
God, picture of Fonzie jumping the shark.
Ralph Mouth.
That's what I want.
Is there a Happy Days game?
If there is, it's on like PC or something.
Right.
Like it has to be.
Well, we're not going off of NES is as low as I go at this point.
Yeah. I can't afford a Commodore 64.
There is a board game called Happy Days, Fonzie's Real Cool Game.
That's awesome. What year did that come out? Please
Oh,
tell me it was
man.
like in the 2000s. It's just Happy Days Monopoly.
2007.
That's all
Yes.
it is.
There probably is a Happy Days Monopoly.
There has to be.
I mean, there's a fucking Rick and Morty Monopoly. Surely there's a Happy Days one.
There's
right?
probably the Karate Kid Monopoly.
Came out in 76.
Wow.
At the height of Happy Days popularity.
Yeah. So it was during the second season of Happy
Before
Days.
it jumped the shark.
So Happy Days finally went out the year I was born. They lasted 74 to 84.
Wow, I can't believe that Happy Days was still on in 1984.
It's wild, right?
That's
that is
crazy
wild
to
think
me.
about. Yeah. That means I could have watched it. had I wanted to or knew it existed.
I did watch it, but not after probably 1980. I probably stopped watching it, but I didn't realize it was still an active show. That I would have thought that would have ended way before then. That's crazy.
I remember watching later episodes where he's like a mechanical teacher at like a community college, trying to teach kids how to rebuild engines and shit. That's after what's his
Ron Howard.
Ron Howard has left the show and would come back for guest appearances or whatever. He has a mustache, so you know time has passed.
Or it's the evil twin that we never knew about. But we're not here to talk about Happy Days.
No.
We're here to talk about the Karate Kid.
Which I'd never seen in one setting.
Really?
Until today. Yep.
This one was a big one for me.
Yeah.
This was much like Top Gun. I was all about the Karate Kid, and we were all, me and my buddy and the Pyro Ninjas.
Right. The Pyro Ninjas. They
have
were
roots in the Karate
absent
Kid.
from the draft, I noticed.
Yeah. Forgot about it until just now. But they were Karate Kid. Me and my buddy were huge into that shit. It was a multi-watch situation. As soon as we could rent it, we rented it a lot.
Yeah.
Always watched it.
It is good. I appreciate it. I was not bored or anything the entire way through. Like I was happy with it.
It's a good movie.
Good. Yeah.
It's a good movie. This was the third time I've seen it, and every time I watch it, I like it more.
Yeah.
The first time I saw it, I didn't see it in the 80s. I saw it like in my 20s, and I thought it was pretty okay. I only watched it because of the Joe Esposito song,
Right.
because I'd seen that South Park and was like, well, I guess I gotta watch Karate Kid, and it was fine.
Yeah.
But
It's a good movie.
every time I've watched it since then, like this last viewing, it was like, it is a man, this sounds fucking sappy as shit, but I fucking mean it. Watching the movie as a father hits different.
Absolutely.
Because when I was in my 20s, I didn't really get that connection.
Sure.
I didn't get what Mr. Miyagi was doing.
I understand.
You know what I
get
mean?
that. I do. It's not sappy at all. I think it's great. And so for those
I was like, that's why he calls him Daniel's son.
So for those of you that don't know, The Karate Kid is the story of a boy and his mom who move out to California.
Very, very little community in L.A. That's why the kids constantly run into each other. There's
Right.
nothing to do. There are
Hardly
only
any
3 places to
people.
visit.
Yeah.
That's why they're constantly in each other's business all the time. Every time you step outside, you run into all your friends.
Don't they like move to the valley? Isn't it like
It is yeah, because the Elizabeth Shue's parents don't want her dating someone from Reseda. Oh my
Right.
god.
Yeah. So they move out there, and of course, they're moved from New Jersey to California. And Daniel, the main character, with his naive mother who thinks it's just going to be cakewalk. You're going to make all these friends. It's going to be wonderful. He is kind of an outcast at school. He's the new kid. He's a nerd. He gets picked on by a bunch of bullies who also happen to be all in a group in the same karate class. He falls in love with a girl who is kind of forbidden fruit because she's the heavy main squeeze kind of thing, the usual stuff. What I really related to as a kid in this movie was the moving, and I'm sure you probably could too, Dave, was the moving around and the having to make new friends and having to fit in a new school and that
Befriending an older man who becomes your very best friend.
yeah, that
Sometimes it happens.
common-
Sometimes he gives you a
common.
great car. Never happened to me.
no, me neither.
Back to the future.
But so he gets beat up one day and decides that he wants to learn karate. And it turns out that the guy that is his landlord / maintenance man at his apartment is a karate master. and decides to take Daniel under his wing and teach him the Miyagi style of karate.
After he beats up a bunch of high schoolers.
After he beats up,
Which I do love that happened.
So at first, Mr. Miyagi is reluctant. I don't want to teach fighting. Fighting's not good. Blah, 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 blah. He alludes to a violent past. And then one Halloween, Daniel is chased down by this group of boys from the dojo, the Cobra Kai dojo, and they beat him up real bad. He thinks he's got some moves.
But he
He's
did
been
start that.
Yeah,
that one
did
was on
instigate
him.
He did.
But
they beat him down.
they beat the shit out of him.
Like they overreact. He pulls a prank on him to get back at him for something that they had done to him, and yada
Lots of
yada
back and
yada.
forth.
Lots of back and forth. This time they beat him senseless. And then
Since they said no mercy.
That's right.
yeah, exactly. And they're the consummate bullies. They're the excellent at karate, black belts. You know, their sensei is super strict. Teaches
He's
them.
the villain.
He's the villain in
villain.
this. He
Yeah.
teaches these boys violence and finish him and no mercy and
Aggression.
select.
Yeah, things that definitely things that don't
I
that
want him
aren't
out of commission.
right. Exactly.
That's a child.
It is. It is.
But I'll get kicked out. Take him out.
He, Mr. Miyagi then comes to Daniel's rescue during this beatdown and whips the asses of these kids.
It's
So he just
great.
mops the fucking
It's great.
floor with them.
And then there's the shot afterwards
he's
where
old
they're
as
writhing
fuck.
on the ground for like prolonged period of time. I was like watching the movie and I was like, I'm uncomfortable. They've been writhing on the ground in pain.
They might be stroking out.
Yeah. That's like RoboCop showed up or something.
Exactly. So Mr. Miyagi decides, okay, these kids are not going to back down. He goes to the sensei of the Cobra Kai.
Which is a great scene. I love this scene.
And-
where he goes with Daniel.
He goes into the dojo with Daniel, says, your boys hurt my friend here, and we're not going to have any of that. So he's going to challenge, I'm going to teach him my karate, and we're going to challenge you at the regional karate competition, the All Valley karate competition. And
You need that shirt.
I do. I really do want that shirt. And so then follows several montages of Daniel training, learning, getting to know Mr. Miyagi. They develop a very father-son relationship. 'Cause Daniel's father's not in the picture. And Mr. Miyagi's family is all gone.
Also not in the picture.
Also not in the picture. They either live
There is a
Only
picture
just
of
in
his wife,
pictures.
but-
There's only pictures. And what's left of his family is in Okinawa, where he is from. So he is over here all by himself. So he trains Daniel in the old ways by having him do things like sand his floors by hand and in circles and sand a floor. And then there's the famous wax on, wax off.
Right.
And he teaches him all these things.
Paint
and
the
then
fence.
paint to the fence. And one of my moments from this movie was when I was very young when this came out and very impressionable, kind of like I was in Top Gun, watching Top Gun. And it didn't dawn on me either what he was doing until the scene where he's like, now paint the fence. And he goes to punch Daniel. And Daniel's like, what? It blocks him. And I'm like, no way.
Right.
It was a perfect, great moment of me being completely clueless and
You
naive.
were like Daniel. You were also mad. He's doing all this labor for nothing. Teach him how to punch.
I was so naive, but I was so glad to be naive because I had a pure moment of joy when these things
That's
happen.
awesome. I wish I had seen it at the age that you
At that
did,
age, right.
where I could have experienced that. Because the first time I saw it, I was like, "That's bullshit. You can't learn karate that way." And that still sticks with me to the third viewing. I'm still like, I mean,
Doesn't work
I
like
get
that.
the sentiment. However, man, how many kids like, you know?
I want a montage of young skeptic Dave in different scenarios, like you sitting in church, being like, "That's bullshit."
So-
Watching Karate Kid, can't learn karate like that. Watching Magic, that's not real.
I mean, it's just one of those things where, like, as an adult, I'm like, that's irresponsible. like that's like some Tom Sawyer shit.
Well,
Well, it's like, I love painting the fence. Every time I paint the fence, I get better at karate. Would you like to paint the fence?
You get better. You're karate just skilled up. Point one.
Yeah.
I saw
To
it.
be
Right.
fair, now to be fair,
Yes.
he was helping strengthen him and get his
shoulders,
stamina and his
right.
endurance
Very
up.
true.
Number
Very
two, those are the absolute basic motion fundamentals. After that, Mr. Miyagi starts training the kid for real.
Right.
And he also gets him discipline, learning hard
Right.
work.
Sure.
The value of
flies
a
with
hard day's
chopsticks.
work, catching flies with chopsticks. Later in Karate Kid 2, chopping blocks of ice.
Also
Much
in the
like in the
video
game.
game.
Also in the video game, which we will get to. But anyway, so Daniel then is also building his relationship with his girlfriend, who is a very sweet, supportive young lady. And then he goes and competes in the All Valley Karate Championship, and chaos ensues. I don't want to give away the ending because someone might want to watch this if they're interested. But it is a very inspirational movie. It's a very happy, tough to watch in places because bullying is a thing, and that's been something that has been in the spotlight a lot in the last several years. But it's always been a problem. It's just been that lately they're starting to put it more in the spotlight and to try to end things like that. But that is the way that it was in the 80s. And I wasn't getting chased down and beat up by black belts, but there were bullies. It was just sort of like a rite of passage. You get bullied or you are the bully. One way or the other, it's going to happen. And it was very meaningful to me as a child to watch this kid learn an art and learn a way to defend himself and a way to become stronger and more patient. And it teaches a lot of very good lessons.
Yeah, it does.
And those lessons, in my mind, still absolutely hold up today. I think anyone that wants to feel good and feel inspired would be well served by watching The Karate Kid. And
It's
I
a
know
good movie.
it sounds silly to say it,
No, I
but
don't
it's
think
absolutely the
I think
truth.
I think it's just a good movie. I think it's a good movie.
It is.
And what I liked about the tournament is that it felt real.
It did.
It didn't feel like it was overproduced. like
absolutely
epic fights,
not.
And like little manic gerbil all the whole time because he's just like going back and forth, like he's scared. And he's where's he gonna go? Daniel,
Yeah,
what is he gonna do? So it wasn't like he was like this cool, calm,
Right.
collected, badass.
It was very
like,
realistic, and it felt
him just like shaking back and forth. Oh, shit, kick.
And the hair of all the referees also very realistic of the time.
yes,
It was like they got real karate referees.
I want to say that they probably did.
Because I don't think those people were actors.
No, and this felt like a real karate tournament, and I would be surprised if it wasn't an actual karate tournament that they use. And I didn't. Unfortunately, this time around, I didn't go through and do my usual trivia hunt for this movie. I didn't have time. I put things
It's
off
okay.
once again.
It's a good
but-
conversation.
Yeah, but just I would not be surprised to find if we found out that was done at a real karate tournament. Because you're right, Tyler. It felt very genuine,
fast.
not overproduced. It was just. It was well paced. It was believable. The whole movie, I mean, with the exception of some of the obvious things like the sanding the floor. And
Right.
it was a believable story, and it was very relatable, I think.
The speaking of the tournament, I really want to point this out because when Nikki and I were watching the end of it, she was talking about the tournament and like how good it was, and I was like, yeah, I wish that all sports had movie announcers, had the announcers from movies, because then everybody would be able to follow what the fuck is going on. Because anything that happens in the
Yes.
tournament, the announcer's like, okay, so he has 10 minutes to return to the. They never do this in real life. They're always just like asking someone next, like, who brought you? What's going on? And they're like, okay, I think there's a rule.
Yes. Yes. that is an excellent point, because I wish life were like that.
Yeah, that'd be
like
great.
everything. Like there was an announcer that said, "Little did Ian know that his roof would begin leaking this summer."
Well, that would be great. Not the roof leaking, but the
He had 6 months to get his roof fixed before his house completely collapses on him. That would be amazing,
That'd be
though,
great.
especially in sports. Just because how often I find myself watching a football game.
Yeah,
and
especially football.
I have to explain stuff
Right.
to people that don't know, and I
Right.
get it. Football's a complicated game to understand, but at the same time, my dad, of all people, had the best idea, like 20 years ago, maybe more. He was just starting to get into watching football. He was never much into sports per se. He always liked baseball and stuff, but with family relations and ties to now Ohio State and things, my aunt Mary John being a huge jock. She's a huge sports fan.
She has a podcast.
I don't know if she still does, but she did.
Had a podcast.
Bourbon and Buckeyes. Wiz and Sage says check it out. I don't know how many stars to give it because I don't want to be mean. No, 5 stars. Wiz and Sage says check it out.
That breaks the system, doesn't
Mary
it?
John and her friend are clearly drinking bourbon, and I love it. I love Mary John so much. I miss her to death. I need to go see her. Anyway, when he was watching football, he started watching football more regularly, and as anyone who decides for whatever reason to start watching football knows, there are a lot of rules in this game and things that don't immediately make sense and that someone needs to explain to you. My dad said, and this was years ago, my dad said, you know what they ought to do? They ought to have like a ticker or some kind of thing on the side of the screen, like a pop-up video that explains what just happened and why this is unusual or why this is what needs to happen next to progress the game or why did this person get called. And it was a $1 million idea, and I don't know why he never.
It is a great idea.
Because I think it would have
Bobcat
helped.
Goldthwait needs to be in the corner explaining things.
Kind of like the sign language person on church broadcasts,
Exactly.
or like when Governor Andy Beshear was doing his
Right.
COVID updates, and they had the sign language.
Which is a lot of times my cousin or my aunt was the interpreter.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, anyway, I don't know what got. Oh, it was what you said about the announcers.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, saying he has 10 minutes to return. I think it would be cool if they did it. My dad figured that out years ago and never got into it. So
I'd buy that for $1.
I'd buy it for $1. I should create it. Hurry up and create it before someone beats me to it.
Before Lowe's hears us.
Before Lowe's hears us. Pop-up Sports brought to you by Lowe's Home
And
Improvement
VH1.
and VH1.
Another thing about Ralph Macchio that I think he is the opposite in most cases, in which I feel like he was better as a child actor than as an adult actor.
I haven't seen him as an adult.
He was in his 20s when he did The Karate Kid.
Oh, was he really?
That's wild. He
He's a
doesn't look like
very
it.
young-looking dude. He's never ages. Like even to this day, in the Cobra Kai show that's on YouTube or whatever.
Yeah.
He never really.
He just looks.
He looks a little older, but yeah, he's always looked very young. He was not a teenager when he filmed that.
You could have.
movie.
You really could
Yeah.
have fooled me.
Yeah.
Because everybody else looks like a movie teenager.
Yeah, he looks like a
Where they're in
legitimate
their
teenager,
20s, but he looks like he's a teenager.
and he is in his 20s when they do that movie. So another really good Ralph Macchio movie, My Cousin Vinny. If you haven't seen
my
it,
God, it's amazing movie. I love it.
Oscar-winning movie.
I love that movie.
5 stars. Wiz and Sage says check it out. We
Yeah,
just
same.
watched My
Girl,
Cousin
same.
Vinny the other day. I laughed.
Only there was a video
my
game.
ass off. Oh, if only I would watch it again. I laughed my ass off.
Do you know there's an in-character music album?
No. Oh
Joe
my
Pesci
God.
has a music album that's, yeah.
Oh my God.
There is a slot machine, My Cousin Vinny.
I'd play
Okay.
that for $1.
I'm verifying that album because now I'm like, that sounds crazy.
Marissa Tomei is in it, and she won Best Actress for that movie because of one particular speech she gives in the courtroom. It's just, please watch My Cousin Vinny if you get the chance. I know you won't be disappointed. Great film. But I keep digressing. And I don't mean to take away from the Karate Kid. I'm glad you guys liked it.
Yeah.
Vincent LaGuardia Gambini sings Just For You
Oh, I'm pulling that
is an
on
album.
YouTube Music.
Here's a track called Yo, Cousin Vinny. Genres, hip hop, blues. It's got it all, man.
Oh boy, just like the movie.
The movie's great. I can't
It
vouch for the
is.
album. I haven't actually
I'm
listened
gonna
to it.
listen to it and I'll report back. I do want to touch a little bit on Karate Kid 2
Yeah, man.
because
Please,
Yeah,
I
there
haven't
was a
seen
video
it.
game, right?
we wouldn't have known that it for some reason is covered in this video
It's
game.
essentially what the video game is, right?
It's basically
all
the
the
first
Karate
level
Kid
is
2.
the
right?
tournament,
Except for
then the rest
right.
is Karate Kid 2.
Which essentially, Karate Kid 2 ends like most Rocky movie. It begins with the ending of the first movie. Most Rocky movies begin with the ending of the movie before it. This does the same thing. They show the whole scene of the major scene, the end scene from the karate tournament, and then it picks right up where it left off. There's a scuffle in the parking lot because the sensei of the Cobra Kai dojo is pissed off that they lost, and he's beating the shit out of his students in the parking lot. And in his turn of fate,
Miyagi
Mr.
did it.
Miyagi,
What? I can't do it either.
Mr. Miyagi comes out into the parking lot and kicks his ass.
Oh man, I really want to. I haven't seen part 2. I really want
Okay.
to see part 2.
It literally picks up
'Cause-
right where the first one left off.
I did like a little clip search just
Uh-huh.
to see, and like because I was confused in the game. It's like because I read the manual and it's like screen text. And it's like
Are we in LA
Okinawa.
Chinatown? Where are we?
It's like, yeah, this is fucked up. So like I did a quick search on YouTube for like Karate Kid Part 2. And like there are shots of them in Okinawa, and it
Yep.
looks really fucking cool. Like
Oh,
I mean,
listen, I got to tell you, somehow the Karate Kid 2 got me even more emotional than the first Karate Kid movie. And so after the scuffle in the parking lot, and Mr. Miyagi again demonstrates that he is the superior intellect in this equation.
Karatician.
Karatician. Time passes and months have passed, and Allie, the girlfriend,
Elizabeth Shue, still played by Elizabeth Shue.
well, she's not in it,
Oh, never mind.
but they write her character kind of out that they broke up.
Gotcha.
She wrecked his car.
Oh, that was a great car.
Yeah. She wrecked his car.
Died.
They no, just a fender bender.
I don't know,
but
man, that was a whole car.
they broke up, and so he's kind of pissed about being broken up, and things aren't going his way. He was on top of the fucking world. Now everything's back to normal. The life gets in the way, as Ian Malcolm would say, and they Mr. Miyagi finds out that his father is dying. He gets a message from Okinawa saying that his father is dying and wants him to be there. So he decides to go, and he brings Daniel with him. So they go to the Okinawa, and they go to their little village in Okinawa where he grew up, and there's a man who's like now this sort of big rich, money, almost gangstery type guy that was like a brother to Mr. Miyagi because his family had adopted this man and they grew up together, but then they had a falling out. And that was part of the reason that Mr. Miyagi left and went to America. And they had sworn the man that I can't remember, Sato, I believe was his name.
I recognize that name from the instruction manual.
Okay.
He's a man like trapped in a doghouse is what he looks like in the game.
There's a reason for that.
Oh, okay.
It is actually.
Is it a doghouse?
Yes.
Whoa! Hey, good job, Atlas, developer of this game. Yes, that Atlas.
I think it was a doghouse or a shed or something like it. It's been a minute since I've seen this movie.
Okay.
But
Does Daniel
he has
fight a lot of
sworn-
like sticks and birds in Karate Kid 2?
fight a lot of sticks and
Walking
birds
through Okinawa?
No.
During a typhoon.
There is a hurricane
Okay.
scene.
Okay.
And there is the Sato has sworn a blood price on Miyagi. In other words, we are going to fight to the death the next time I see you. That's how bad their rivalry has become. And he has sworn we are going to fight to the death. And Miyagi has stayed away because he doesn't want to have that fight.
That perfectly fits his character.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But he goes, so the guy says, now that you're here, I challenge you to this fight. We're fighting to the death. His nephew is the big bad in this one.
Is that Chosen?
Yes.
Because that's the name in the instruction manual.
And he sort of takes the place of Johnny as the bully. And there's a lot of similarities to it follows sort of the same pattern. He falls in love with a young lady in Okinawa and learns about Japanese culture. But in the midst of trying to have a good time and trying to learn and trying to become a better person, this guy keeps getting in the fucking way. He keeps bullying him. And of course, Daniel is a very skilled martial artist. Another good one for the draft. Daniel LaRusso is a skilled martial artist, but apparently he don't know shit. When he gets to Japan, those guys kick his ass in a big way. And there ends up being, I don't want to get too far into it because I want you guys to watch it.
Yeah, I want to know what's covered like that they do in the game because it sounds like they do quite a bit.
There's a typhoon. There is a scene where he has to chop his hand through blocks of ice like in the game.
Okay.
It's a pretty good scene, actually. I would wager that the Karate Kid 2
Like
is
Miyagi and the beer bottles that clearly like rock back and forth because they're glued to the truck.
Yeah.
Now who's saying magic's not real?
I would wager that Karate Kid 2 is as good, if not maybe a tiny bit better than the first one.
Wow.
It builds on the first one really well. I think it's an excellent extension of the story. The love story part is actually pretty touching. I've really, really enjoyed that movie. And I think you both would enjoy the second one a great deal. Now, the third and fourth one, I can't comment on. It's been a while. I remember the third one being more like the third and fourth seasons of Barry. It just lost its way in that one. But the first two, classic.
Well, what I saw from the clips, I saw like a clip that pretty much sold me on the movie, and I was like, fuck, I wish I would have watched this before the episode. But I didn't know that the game was
I didn't either.
mainly based on part two, because it's called The Karate Kid.
You'd think that it would be called, but there was no previous Karate Kid
In Japan,
game.
it's The Karate Kid Part 3.
Right.
In America, it's...
Get that Final Fantasy thing going.
But like, there's a scene that I saw, a real short clip of a scene where like Daniel is in I guess like some kind of like restaurant or cafe or something, and he's getting bullied and they take his wallet.
Yeah.
And like even like the location, and then like they run out on the street, and it's like, fuck, man, this is. I would watch this movie just for all like the location shots.
It was very rural, very small town Japan.
Yeah, it
you
was
know?
cool to see.
It was
especially
cool.
like in the. I think that was 86 or 87.
Yeah.
It's like that's pretty neat.
It was once again a very believable depiction of a specific place, event,
Oh,
or
man,
time.
dude. Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up because like watching part 1, it was straight up just like, fuck, man. Like, I know this is Hollywood 1980
But it was so
or whatever,
fucking accurate.
but yeah, I mean, it
didn't overdo it. It was the perfect picture of somewhat upper, lower to middle class life in America in the 80s. It wasn't overdone. The arcade was an arcade. And
Right,
the
right, yeah.
karate, the high school was high school. It wasn't anything special about it. It wasn't anything crazy or flashy. It was just life.
It seemed real. It
Yeah,
seemed grounded.
it did. And that feeling sticks in Karate Kid too. They really keep that.
Yeah.
They're very grounded.
It's not like I like a lot of John Hughes movies from
Sure.
that era, but
Yes.
it's not that
Exactly.
because John Hughes movies from that era are 80s, but it's like
super stylized.
right, it's tweaked. It's,
The absolute they've got it's turned up to 11, right?
Yeah.
They want to cram as much pop culture down your throat in the John Hughes film as they can. That doesn't make them bad.
Right.
In
I
fact,
love
that's
them.
what has
Yeah.
that's what their charm
charming,
is.
right? Yeah.
But these
Karate
movies
Kid doesn't do
they
that.
don't do
it's
that.
really cool because it is.
That and it makes it timeless, doesn't
Right.
it?
Well,
it
makes it like it almost makes it like a true period piece. So,
yeah, I
it's really
agree.
weird
I
to say,
agree because
but
it's authentic, but it does feel. It's not that it feels dated though,
right.
Right, because you can watch a period
Right.
movie and see, and it doesn't feel dated, but you're seeing the costumes and the way
Right.
that it works. This is a period piece of the 80s that it doesn't. It's not in your face. It's just that's life.
And it's really cool to watch it in HD because it was all shot on film.
Yes.
You know? So it's
a
like
little grainy,
man,
a
like
little-
seeing
yeah.
it is like fuck, man. Like seeing it, this quality
Yes.
is amazing. It reminds me of there is a YouTube video of our local park, Noble Park, where it's like I don't know, like 30-ish minutes.
I know what you're
that's
gonna
filmed,
say.
and it is like
It's wonderful.
I
I've
fucking
seen it.
love it, dude. I
I
love it.
lived it.
And
I
it's like
lived it.
right, yeah. Well,
I
that's
loved it.
that's what's great about it
Loved
is like
it.
seeing like because it's
That
early
movie
80s.
was probably filmed around the time that the Karate Kid
right,
came out.
and that's
Yeah.
what made me think of it. Like I was watching the Karate Kid, and I thought about the fucking
That's great.
Noble Park video
Yes.
on YouTube, where you got the dudes in the fucking shorts that like come up to their nutsack, you know, and like
Yep.
all that early '80s kind of fashion.
Okay, so
People that aren't used to having cameras pointed at them all the time.
Yeah, yeah.
It was-
I love seeing people's reactions.
Yeah,
and
they don't
like,
want
old
to do this,
videos
and it's
they're-
like, you know, the culture now it's not
opposite
at
of that.
all unusual to see someone with a camera pointed at something,
right.
themselves or at someone else
Right.
or at
What's
some
that guy in the
event.
supermarket doing? Recording a frozen pizza? Oh, okay. This is normal.
with a tripod, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Wait, does he have a camera with him? Oh yeah, we all do.
Right, yeah.
Literally everyone has a camera with them at all times.
And
Yeah,
a
it's-
calculator.
And we can see the pictures immediately.
You got a calculator with you everywhere you go.
Take that, Mrs. Young.
Told you we'd be able to use them anytime we wanted when we grew up.
I like the music in the movie too a lot.
Me too. Me too.
Man, I had Cruel Summer fucking stuck in my head for like
I got chills when you said
a
that.
full goddamn 24 hours. I mean, it was just straight up like. And then when I was doing my preparation for the show, and I typed soundtrack, Cruel
God.
Summer, like popped back in my head again. I forgot it was in the movie.
Well, they don't shove it down your throat.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna look at some of these tracks.
I listened to the soundtrack on Spotify. Cruel Summer not included. It was You're the Best Around, and then some other
Yes.
other tracks that I honestly kind of didn't really.
Never gonna get you down. You're the best around.
What do you guys think? This version, Karate Kid has on Rotten Tomatoes.
Oh,
That's a good question. Audience or critic?
Audience.
Audience.
95%.
I believe it's audience. I could be wrong.
Well, here's what's fucked up about it. Is like that's gonna take reviews, like modern day reviews too, right? So I wonder if that skews it down. But then again, I don't know how it was received. I assumed it was received very well because there are multiple sequels to it. I'll go 86%.
Oh no, I'm wrong. It's critic score is what I wrote down.
Critic score?
Yep.
I'll go 82 then.
Yeah.
95.
Critic score 89. Audience score 82.
Whoa. I meant audience score. You put that in my mind, so I just
feel like
locked it
it's
in.
low. I feel like that's low, but that's still good. That's especially considering it's such an older movie.
I feel like it's low too.
The Karate Kid 2.
I haven't seen it, so I can't even guess.
I'm not gonna guess numbers, but I'm gonna say higher on both counts.
No.
No,
Unfortunately,
Okay.
about half.
40s?
45 critic, 52 audience.
I can see why that would have happened because again, it
Similar.
does follow the same pattern, and you wait 4 years for the sequel, and it's not that much different than the one we saw 4 years
Should
ago.
have named it The Karate Kid, The Karate Kid.
It would have nailed it. But if you watch them back to back now, I think it'll hit differently.
I'm seeing it. I'm
Yeah,
watching
you
it.
should
from,
watch
From the
it.
clips that I saw, I was like,
And I would be
I'm going to see
interested.
it for the locations alone.
I think I liked Karate Kid 2 a little better. Maybe I was a little older and kind of like Daniel's character. I had aged 4 years,
Right,
and I was kind of in that same place and feeling real emotional, all the time, and all those hormones are flowing, and but I'm definitely not being an apologist because I'm never going to apologize for loving it. But I am interested to know what you guys think about the second one, having now watched the first one.
I'd watch the second one. But the third one, Karate Kid Part 3.
That one has to be half of what 2 was.
The 20s?
15%
Yeah.
critic, 35% audience.
It's not good. I remember
That
it.
sucks.
I've seen it a couple of times, and I remember it being
What's the premise of that one?
it loosely. I can't remember exactly, but it goes back to L.A., back to the guy that runs the Cobra Kai dojo, and his sensei
I see.
comes to him and basically makes him feel because the whole Karate Kid 2 and much like the first, it took place over the course of like a week. It was like he was in Okinawa for a month, maybe
Yeah.
a while, but not like years. And so these movies are really close together in a time frame, and this guy's sensei comes back and humiliates him, and we're going to bring back Cobra Kai, and it's going to be even more, and we're going to get revenge on Mr. Miyagi for humiliating the Cobra Kai. Because the sensei from the first one and his sensei were ex-military guys from they peaked in Vietnam,
Yeah.
and they loved it.
And I, sorry to interject, but there was something that I noticed in the movie that I wanted to touch on. I thought it was really nice that, like, in the beginning of the movie, when they enter the Cobra Kai dojo, and they show that sensei like in his military uniform and stuff. I like that that's countered by Mr. Miyagi.
Yeah.
Later on in the movie, when you discover that he was also a soldier, and it's like, they're two completely different people. And I thought that was
Both
a nice kind of
different
touch.
products of war.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
And how war can affect one person one way and someone else another.
I thought it was a really positive
It
message.
really was.
That
And
it wasn't beat you over the head. It was just kind of
Right.
like, oh man, I didn't even pick up on this when I watched
exactly.
it the first time.
But part 3 is like, I don't even remember what happens. I just remember the general
The
premise.
villain has a ponytail.
Yeah.
Yeah. I saw that in the stills. Like, okay. that
Okay.
lines up. But Karate Kid Part 4, the next Karate Kid.
Probably better than the third.
Probably
right?
better than the third. I would say 30.
65%.
Half again.
Oh my God.
7% critic.
Oh no.
14. So they're 14 or 24% audience.
Maybe we should have stopped at 2.
And the Karate Kid 5, the 2010 version.
Half again?
No, way better. It's the second best rated. 66 audience, 67 critic.
I mean, it was fine, I guess. I didn't like it. I felt like that was one of those things we don't need to fuck with.
I'm just offended by how long ago it came out, but it feels like that. Not that much time has
It
passed.
really does. It really doesn't feel like it's been that long.
You guys want to touch on the game real quick?
Sure.
Sure.
You're the Karate Kid, Dave. You are.
I am. Thank you.
So for you, when you said beat this in 16 minutes, and I'm like 45 minutes in on a hill in a windstorm, like dying over and over and over again.
So the first time I played this game, I got to stage 4, which is the last stage in the game. And the second time I played this game, I beat the game. I think this is a really easy game if you know some tricks to the NES that you can exploit. And my trick was keep as many sprites on the screen as possible. Don't engage them so that the game can't load any more sprites. And all you have to do is run. That's how I beat the game in 16 minutes.
I had a
The
feeling.
task did it in 3.
Oh yeah, no, and I look because I was like feeling pretty fucking good. I was like, what's the record on this? And it's like, well, I could submit my score and get 71st and still be 6
Shit.
minutes behind 70 or whatever. So it was one of those where it's like, this could be fun to speed run because I feel like it is one of those things. Like stage 4, the entire time, it's like, okay, I got 2 guys behind me chasing me and a rock also chasing me.
Right.
Just keep my speed so that all those sprites are on the screen and nothing else will spawn. And then I just keep moving.
Yeah.
So it's kind of one of those where it's
Gotcha.
like, if you're playing it the way the developer Atlas Persona intended for you to play.
I had a
it's probably
hard
more
fucking
difficult.
time jumping. Very hard. I didn't hate it. It was fine.
It was okay.
But the controls, like I died in the first pit. I died in that multiple times trying to jump across
Girl,
it.
same.
It's not a great game. I don't think it I also don't think it controls very well. You have to press up to jump, which is like a fighting game standard, but like in a action platformer, it's not a good time. Another huge complaint I have is if you get hit by an enemy, you get bounced back.
Simon Belmont
Yes.
doesn't have shit on the
No.
Karate Kid where
You
he
get
comes
bounced
knocked back.
fast.
And you get hurt.
You get bounced
Like
back
bad.
and forth
I
from
know.
2 people. Like
Yeah.
it's fucking nuts. They juggle the shit out of
It's
you.
crazy. And it's not
Quarter
like
of
they're
your
punching
life.
you. It's just you're literally bouncing off of them.
Yeah.
It's like Sonic Spinball or something. It's crazy.
Yeah, bad physics for sure. And I think some of the hitboxes were tough and like being
They
able
are.
to like for example, on some of the second stage where you're like on a higher level up just slightly than the ones like a platform, not a high up level, but like your feet are at our level with their face.
Right.
But if you do a sweep, it doesn't hit them.
Right.
And I don't like that shit. It's that they needed to correct that anyway.
It's janky, and it's also like you can hit them clearly before you should be able to. Like I would kick,
yeah.
anticipating where they were going to be, and it's instead of when they're right on me, which I mean that's a typical video game thing, I guess. But it was like when they're getting hit, it's like, well, those pixels didn't touch.
I'm
They
just
got-
gonna kick in
Yeah.
the general direction. If you happen to run into it, it's your fault.
right.
And of course, it has the crane kick that you can do,
Right.
which is the famous kick from the first movie that
But you get
Daniel
those as
learns.
like items, usable items.
Yeah, they're like you pick up little letter C will fall out of a guy when you kill him, and you pick it up, and you can stockpile crane kicks, which are more powerful. Which is weird because usually with most of the enemies, one kick will do most of the damage. I guess the crane kick just finishes them in one.
Yeah, it does. It finishes them in one. And I was spamming them in the last in the last stage.
Yeah.
Because it's like you also get a drum punch.
That's from part 2.
Okay. I'm glad to hear that because I was
Yeah.
like a drum punch. What the fuck is that?
It's very much like wax on. It's
like
the
a
it's the
donkey
wax on, wax off of Karate Kid 2. They had to come up with some wax on, wax off style thing for that movie.
Gotcha.
The drum
That's
punch
the
is
drum
that.
punch. Okay.
Yeah.
I was going through it when it's like whenever someone would come in front of me, it's like, okay, drum punch. And it would just like instantly knock them out.
So think about how the wax on thing made you feel a little bit, and maybe having to work a little hard to make it less convoluted in your own mind, like I did. The drum punch doesn't ever feel not a little cringy. That's probably the cringiest part of part 2. It's not that bad, but it's just one of those things that you can tell it's an obvious.
It's a stretch.
It's a stretch, and it's obvious that they did it so that we would have a similarity to the wax on, wax off moment.
Gotcha.
It's their
like-
knuckle puck.
Yeah, but he has to learn. See, he has to learn more better karate in the second one to fight the better karate men from Japan, and
He's got to use
So
Japanese
there's-
karate, not white karate.
right
So
there's
it's really different.
exactly there's montage after montage again. It follows a very similar pattern to the first one, but the drum punch is much like the ice blocks. Oh, and the swinging thing,
The hammer.
the swinging hammer from the second one as well. Another one of those tests that is part of his training.
Yeah, there are mini games in the NES game where there are a lot of them. This game reminds me a lot of Virtual Bart.
Yeah, I
Where
could
it's
see
like
that.
you're in this platforming stage and then you enter a building and it's like now you're playing a mini game. And there are 3 of them. There's the hammer dodge where they call it a hammer. To me, it looked like an anvil.
It's actually in the movie. I always thought of it as more of a big blade,
Shit.
like a swinging blade. It's on a pier. It's on like a fishing pier, and I can't remember. It's been a minute. I can't remember exactly what. It's just this big weighted thing. I don't even know if it's a blade. I want to say it's like a counterweight for a fish net.
Oh, okay.
So like if they're pulling off a huge boat full of fish,
like an anchor kind of ish.
yeah, it's almost like a not a catapult, the other thing,
Trebuchet.
a trebuchet.
Trebucket?
But it's like
Buckets of fun.
that thing. If I remember right, that would be a thing that has the other end is what you would hook to a big heavy net of fish, and that's the counterweight, so they
Okay.
can pick it up and swing it around.
Okay.
Mr. Miyagi at one point is off meditating by himself, doing whatever he does to cope with whatever's wrong.
Right.
And at some point he's practicing his dodge, and Daniel decides he wants to do it, and Mr. Miyagi's like, nah, don't. And of course later Daniel decides he's going to try it anyway.
Right.
But that's what that's from.
Okay.
And then the ice.
It's tough in the game.
Yeah.
And like the mini games reward you
because you have to jump.
Which is the hardest part of the game.
Right. Actually, you have to press A or B.
Oh, is that
Because
right?
I was jumping over it, and then I finally got hit, and it was like 0, and it's like, oh fuck. And then in the instruction manual, they're like, hit it. You can hit A or B.
I wouldn't have thought that at all.
I wouldn't have
It's
either,
like
'cause
practicing
those are
your
attack
dodge.
buttons.
It's again goes to that drum punch thing.
Yeah. So you're rewarded crane kicks and drum punches from doing the mini games, which is nice.
The other one was the chopping of ice
Right.
and the catching of flies with chopsticks.
Right.
Which is the reference back to the first movie.
I was
Just
curious if
one
we
of
did that
2
again.
references to the first movie in this game called The Karate Kid. So
The crane kicks and drum punches I thought were more useful because they also refill your health a little bit.
those are nice. Yes.
So it's nice when that happens because when you do get sandwiched, you die really fast.
yeah.
Yeah, you do. Buy, rent, or birthday of the Karate Kid.
I don't know. Depending on my age, I would have probably wanted this for my birthday.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have bought it. Of course, I didn't buy games, anyway. But I would have wanted it for my birthday. I would have liked to have owned it, but then I probably would have gotten sick of it and put it away or rent.
I wouldn't have rented it because I hadn't seen The Karate Kid. So it's kind of one of those.
If
where
I had
it's like-
seen the movie, I would have wanted to rent the game.
Right.
But yeah.
But I mean, I think it would have been a fine rent.
But if I had rented it, I wouldn't have wanted to buy it.
Yeah. I would have absolutely asked for it for my birthday.
Yeah. I think it's good. It fits that niche. I can see
Yeah.
that.
Marketing, baby. I'll take it.
Yeah, I mean, it's an LJN game published by LJN. So you kind of, I mean, I had a certain expectation for it before I played it. And I mean, as far as LJN games go, I feel like it was okay. It's not, I don't think it's a good game. I really don't. I
Yeah.
think it's pretty janky. I thought the mini games were,
Mini games were kind of neat.
I thought they were, yeah, I thought
Very test your might, Mortal Kombat.
totally gave me
type
those
thing,
vibes.
yeah.
Yeah. With the ice block. And the ice block works
especially.
like a golf game
Yep.
where you've got the sliding bar for power. And it's like, okay, it's very simple, but I thought it looked good.
Yeah.
I thought they were animated. Those mini games were animated well. I wish there were more of them. 3 mini games kind of sucks. I feel like it would have been nice if you had like 8. It'd be
Yeah.
cool, especially considering there are 4 stages in the game.
Yeah.
It's short. It's really short. And the first stage is the karate tournament from the first movie. That is like,
Yeah.
I mean, all you got to do really
You just kick
just
once.
kick the guys. I mean, it's like fighting 4 dudes, and it's like, okay, well, that's
It's pretty
over.
simple. I got beat up and died once on the last dude in the karate
Yeah.
tournament, but whatever.
There's a 2-player mode, not simultaneous. And then there's a 1v1 mode, which Henry and I tried out, and it is not great. One person plays Daniel, the other plays Chosen, and you just have the punch and the kick, and that's it.
So what
It's
we're
like a slap
saying,
fight.
what we've determined here is that we watched the wrong movie
Yeah, we watched the wrong movie.
because we didn't know.
Not
that-
our fault.
Not our fault. They didn't specify that
Did
this
not
was
title the
based on
game
part
properly.
2.
And I know that was a marketing thing.
Yeah.
I know that was like if we put Karate Kid Part 2 on the box and people haven't played, they're like, wait a minute, I haven't played Karate Kid Part 1. I'm going to be totally lost in the
Yeah.
deep Karate Kid lore. That's totally what marketing was thinking. And they're like,
Final
well,
Fantasy 6, I've only played one of these.
exactly.
Well, and what year did this come out?
This came out in 1987, which is 1 year after the Karate Kid Part 2.
So that's why. Yeah, that makes sense. There was no NES when the first Karate Kid movie came out.
There barely was.
Barely. I mean, we could have sussed this out probably, but
Yeah.
there was. I mean, they fucking made a Dirty Harry game,
That's true.
so
That is true.
Do you guys have any achievements?
I have a few.
Go on.
My first achievement is sweep the leg, and that is beat the game using only leg sweeps. Impossible. My second achievement is men who catch fly with chopsticks accomplish anything. Fail to catch enough flies to earn the bonus in the fly catching minigame.
That was my favorite mini game.
Yeah, I liked it. My next one was ice to see you. Chop through enough blocks of ice to earn the bonus.
Stick around.
Stick
Should have been the
around.
chopstick one.
Damn, that's a good. That is good. I really missed opportunity.
Sorry, I couldn't help it.
That's funny. That's funny as fuck. Flawless victory. Beat the game in under 20 minutes. Dave got that one. And then my last one is it's okay to lose to opponent. Must not lose to fear. And to earn that achievement, you get defeated in the karate tournament at the very beginning.
That's nice. I love it. I love that scene, and I know I mentioned it a little bit earlier, but the scene when Daniel and Mr. Miyagi go to the dojo. I love Mr. Miyagi in that scene because like you watch him and he's very calm but he never breaks eye contact with the sensei from Cobra Kai.
Not afraid of that motherfucker.
No.
And the sensei just knows this guy has to be afraid of me because I'm so much bigger than he is, and I'm so much younger.
Yeah,
but he's not. He stands up to him, and that's a very good wholesome.
Yeah,
message.
man, I love it. I love that scene. That's probably my favorite scene in the movie,
too.
honestly. I have a few achievements. The first of which is the Karate Mid. In order to unlock the Karate Mid, you fail to dodge the hammer 4 times.
All right.
Next achievement is the Comeback Kid. In order to unlock the Comeback Kid, you pull out and come on Kim Kardashian's back. Chris Pratt joke. You go from Mario. He's Mario, you know.
Yeah.
You go from 1 life to full by collecting either crane kicks or the other one.
Drum punches.
Drum punches. Yeah. And the last achievement I have is the Chosen one. In order to unlock the Chosen one, defeat Chosen in stage 4.
All right.
You fight him a bunch. He's like the end boss for 3 of the levels.
Well, he gets into it a bunch with him in the movie, so that tracks.
Okay.
I've got 4. The first one is Steve Irwin. You unlock Steve Irwin by saving all your crane kicks, not using any. Save all the cranes.
See what you did there.
Quicksilver. Get that by just running through the level, not killing anybody, just running, win. J.K. Simmons.
Hey.
Use 20 drum punches. And then my last one is
Spider-Man is referenced in the movie, so we can connect these
there we
things.
go.
Spider-Man.
My last one is Ganon has returned. You unlock that by falling in the pit because it looks just like Link in Zelda 2 whenever you die. It's the same animation, and then it automatically goes to black, just like there.
You are correct. That is absolutely right. I didn't catch that.
That's all I got.
How much do you guys think this game is? If you were to buy it loose used, what would you pay for the Karate Kid on the NES?
$4.
$4.
I was gonna say $5.
$5. Actual retail value of
It's $4.50.
the Karate Kid for the NES, loose on average, according to PriceCharting.com, at the time of this recording, is $8.80. In 2012, you could have picked this up for 88 cents.
Wow. 10
That's a
times. That's inflation, baby.
Stonks.
What do you think Flopsy Jr. gave the Karate Kid?
I don't know how much like more padded and generous Flopsy Jr. is in relation to Flopsy, but I'm gonna say that this game is common and that they gave it 2.5 stars.
Common, 2.5 stars.
I'll be slightly different and then say very common 2 stars.
According to, totally not pulling anything up on the fly here, because I absolutely have the book in front of me and can read from the cover, no problem. I don't have to do a search for the title. According to Flopsy Jr., a.k.a. the Ultimate Nintendo Guide to the NES Library by Pat Contry, courtesy of Big Dick Pie Baker Chris Vaughn, The Karate Kid, 3 stars, common.
A little high.
It is a little high. I feel like this is a very 2.5 star game.
Yeah.
I think it's right down the middle for me, which is great for LJN. That's a great LJN
That's
game.
a banger.
It is a certified banger. Correct. I agree with that. What do you guys want to play next? Dick Tracy came up last episode. Would you like to do that, or would you like to do something else, or randomize an SNES game?
Is Dick Tracy an NES game or a Super NES game?
Dick Tracy is an NES game. Do we want to get back on the old program, the SNES train. I'm fine with anything.
I was just thinking, I would like to get back to the SNES.
Okay.
I like the path we're going, so I think we should bite a bullet.
Okay.
Do toys.
God damn it. Okay. Boy.
Oh boy.
All right. I mean, fine.
Fine.
We don't have to.
No, it's gonna have
gotta
to
happen.
happen.
I'd also be just as willing to do Spider-Man, X-Men, Arcade's Revenge. Been on my wants list for a long time.
Well, let's keep the movie train rolling.
Okay.
Toys. Like you said, we got to do it eventually.
Is there
Toys.
a Mrs. Doubtfire game?
Boy,
I'd rather
if
watch
only.
Mrs. Doubtfire.
Boy, if only.
Okay. All right, we'll do it. We'll do it. So there
Toys.
is Joan Cusack is in it. I can at least enjoy that much of it.
Toys.
Toys.
All right. Final answer. Locked in.
Toys it
Toys.
is.
Yes,
Tyler,
Dave.
if you were to give the Karate Kid for the NES a beard, what kind of beard would you give it?
I would give it Will Smith's goatee from I Am Legend,
Oh, I like that movie.
in that the movie and the source material are totally different.
They are very different.
So for it to be the Karate Kid, but playing from the Karate Kid 2, it's very different.
Okay. All right. If you were to give this Tyler,
Yes, Dave.
if give game glasses, what glasses? Why?
Wind tunnel goggles.
Mm-hmm.
Because of the hurricane you're through.
They do
Going
nothing.
through the most of the game.
Okay. Yeah, we didn't talk about the typhoon level where birds. I mean, you mentioned fighting birds and sticks. It's a level. Imagine Double Dragon physics with wind. You're walking against the wind the entire time, and sticks and birds are being blown back into you while you're fighting guys. That's it. Okay.
Straight out of the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know about the birds and sticks.
Occasional
specifically.
cabbages.
There's the cat that would track. That's actually relevant. There's a big scene involving a hurricane in Karate Kid 2.
Okay.
A big, important scene.
Okay.
Okay.
The typhoon teaches him the drum punch.
It takes the form of Mr. Miyagi's father.
Holy
Typhoon, the summon from
When
67.
Mr. Miyagi's father dies, he becomes Typhoon.
Fuck.
And teaches Daniel the
Karate Kid lore
drum
is so
punch.
deep and rich.
It is. That's Japan for you.
Thanks for listening, everybody. You can find the show on iTunes, not Stitcher, not SoundCloud, but on Spotify, YouTube, all over the goddamn place. Our theme song is Moves by Sycamore Drive, and that track from the show at TADPOG.com. There's lots of other shit, but most important is that Patreon.
Oh, that's my cue. We have a Patreon. It's patreon.com/tadpog or pisstasters.com.
Taste the piss?
I said that earlier for the Discord.
Yeah, it's fine.
It's
Discord?
tastethepiss.com is Discord, right?
They can taste as much piss as they want. I'm cool with it.
Yeah.
I'm cool with
All the
hell
piss
yeah.
tasting.
If they want to taste, I mean,
Taste
do it
away.
responsibly, but taste
Don't
as
even-
much as you want.
It's piss. Don't even do it responsibly. I don't care.
We're not doctors. This is not medical device. Device? It's definitely not medical device.
This is not divisive medicine. But if you would like to donate money, you
Yeah.
can go there and do so. For as little as $1, you can pick up some of our bonus content that we've put out there over the years. Some really good stuff there. Definitely enough to pass away a lot of time.
Very much so.
There's some very long
Piss it away.
runs, like tabletop runs, and really good stuff that Tyler's crafted. There's some naughty episodes on there that
Naughtiest
just
episodes.
too randy for the main
Evangeline Lilly
theme.
doing commercials for a sex hotline.
But not nearly as randy as Acid Randy. But we do have a group of folks, fine folks that we refer to as our executive producers. These people donate $20 or more per month to the show, and we're going to read their names as part of a list that I do every week because we love them and want to make sure they are properly acknowledged. Starting with Plinko Nick Price, Cubicle Monkey, Enthusiast Jeff Miners, Gamebug Prime Nathan Eaton, Matt Gentile, a.k.a. Gentle G, Louisville Correspondent, Princess Consuela, Banana Hammock, Flavor Trick, Taryn Dahl. Congratulations on your marriage. Pinball Airplane, Archmage, Chris Edler. We're sorry you couldn't be on this episode. Sandwich Pope, Phil Hawkins, Drinksmith, Joey Webster, and Derek Pope Sandwich. You'd think I'd have this list memorized by now, but I don't.
I definitely wouldn't have it memorized.
I've gotten better at reading it.
Yeah, great. I liked it a lot.
With Terrence, is like many words. I always
so many
stumbled.
all the syllables.
Was
of
Grim
the
back on that
syllables.
list? I feel like he said something to me like last time I streamed.
Didn't he? He did. Grim.
Yeah, he should.
Last time Grim, I'm sorry, Usurper Grim. I forgot to put your name back on my list, but Usurper Grim is also one of our many executive producers. I'm going to add your name back here right now. Thank you for bringing that up, Tyler. Usurper Grim. That's donation so nice. I had to read his name twice because I left him out of last week's list.
Hey, you boys want to close it out?
By thanking Dane.
Okay.
Thanks, Dane.
Yeah.
As always. I know Dane had a little
Tropical
problem.
Danicorn.
Tropical Danicorn. Dane had a little bit of a technical problem getting the show up last week, but he got that over. I think he is working on getting that fixed. If it hasn't been fixed by now, we'll figure it out. But thank you all the same for your hard work on that. Now, how do we close it out?
Oh, you'll close it out.
Mr. Miyagi?
Yeah, but just Tyler does it.
Done.
So I had the thought, this has nothing to do with how we close it out, but Henry has strep throat right now.
Oh.
So tomorrow I'm going to try to get him to watch Toys with me.
Because he's like down and can't fight back as much? Or...
No, I just want to see, like, I know how fast he would nope out when he's not sick, but when he is sick, I just want to see, like, how many seconds it lasts for Toys.
All right. All right.
So, Kenna was complaining about her hurt when she peed, so we thought she had a UTI a few weeks ago. No. Strep throat that worked its way down.
Oh my God, I didn't know.
Didn't know it was a thing.
Did not either. Goodness sakes. They get her on those antibiotics?
Yep.
Okay.
She's all good now, but yeah, we were perplexed.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
So like Pat Morita, Tropical Capricorn. I'm not gonna do a Charles Ng thing like Zabrowski does.
TADPOG is hosted and produced by Tyler Holland, Dave Moore, and Ian Chandler, and is available wherever fine podcasts are hosted. Have a question or comment for the hosts? Call us at 270-883-2555 and leave us a voicemail. We'll even play it on the show and respond eventually. Want to send us something? You can do that at TADPOG Studios, care of Nicole Nance, P.O. Box 3785, Paducah, Kentucky 42002. Sick of us doing all the talking? You can join in on the conversation by visiting our Discord at bit.ly/TADPOG Discord or tastethepiss.com. Not many things are truly free these days, but our Discord is, and we'd love to see you there. Our theme song is Moves by Sycamore Drive, and a link to that track can be found at the show notes at tadpog.com. Thanks for listening, and if you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe to our show on your favorite podcasting platform. We really appreciate it.
And now, a dramatic reading. Wake up in the morning feeling like P. Diddy. Grab my glasses. I am out the door. I am going to hit this city. Before I leave, brush my teeth with a bottle of Jack. Because when I leave for the night, I ain't coming back. I'm talking pedicure on our toes, trying all our clothes. Boys, blowing up our phones. Topping, playing our favorite CDs. Pulling up the parties, trying to get a little bit. Tip C. Don't stop. Make it pop.
It's Kesha.
Is it Kesha? I thought it was. You know, she has like almost a 200 IQ.
I did not know
She's
that.
really smart.
She fucks ghosts.
That's a requirement on all ghost dating apps.
What's your
200 plus IQ.
at least?
GM spirit speak. You gotta have a good.
The ghosts are like, look, you have to be really smart, otherwise people won't believe that you're having sex with us. It's very important.
Oh, but wait, you're Kesha. Shit. People are gonna have. I love Kesha. People are gonna have a problem because your image. They're gonna just think you were really drunk and not really having sex with a ghost. But you're Kesha, so we'll let you in to the app.
Patrick Swayze, they'll believe.
Yeah, they would believe him if he were, alive to tell. Sometimes improv just ain't my thing.